I'd love to hear the crowds here in Brazil as we start off our second semifinal. Yeah, there we go, guys. Man, everyone's ready to go here. And we were right. It's going to be Celts here from Hera, a civilization that until he beat it was undefeated in this tournament. Hera in the blue, big favorite in this semifinal. And ACCM will know that on the other side in the red, playing as the Dravidians.
Yeah, and I wonder if players are going to go for that full feudal approach, or if maybe they're tempted to play like they did in the qualifiers, where players were doing more fast castles, because the Dravidians feel like a civ, where you have that naval advantage against the Celts, but if you play an extended feudal game, then you're not going to have the same wood eco that the Celts do.
Yeah. Also, the dock position is going to be important here, right? Hera went for back dock a lot here, and now he's going forward dock in the semifinal. We now have a side dock from ACCM. That's going to protect some of his fish, but the big conversation about the dock positions, as always, is where are the whales? You're going to find whales which you can take gold more towards the front. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a whale over there. That's actually really fortunate for ACCM.
That is an amazing dock. That's the best dock I've ever seen on this map. Two fish and two whales. The whales can't be directly behind your island, but they can be to the sides. That's why we see a lot of players side docking. You can go for the whales, take gold, and then skip a mining camp later on, so you're even saving a bit of wood from that.
Yeah. TOS, tell me, is this standard to have this many deer on the map? And I just missed it. There's a lot of deer. It looks like there's more than 4. Is that?
There are 2 groups of 4.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And this is maybe a bit non-standard because we see Hera luring the boar or the javelina with the scout to be as efficient as possible and not use his villager. But that's because he's not worried about a landing at all. If he were worried about a landing, he'd want that scout HP.
Yeah, Hera did that as well in the previous rounds. Just the feeling again of maximum efficiency on the eco. This map is all about water in his eyes. There could be a transport from ACCM. Mr. Yo and ACCM probably game plan together for the separate semifinals, thinking, hey, if we meet in the final, who cares what strategies we've shown each other? They know the goal is going to be to take down, number 1 and number 2 in the world. So I wouldn't hate ACCM going like man-at-arms into water here if you don't trust yourself against Hera straight up on the Navy.
That's interesting because the Dravidians, we talked about the wood bonuses, they have a better timing on their wood bonus where it hits just as you get to the feudal age. So if you wanted to go for men-at-arms, I think you have a good usage of that extra. 1, you save the house in the Dark Age, and 2, you get that 200 wood as soon as you hit feudal. So if there's a civ to go for it, it's probably the Dravidians.
Yeah, the thing is, and we talked about it in the back room, I actually think landings are way less effective when whales are incorporated into the map scripts.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%.
When you go for man-at-arms, you can take them off of a resource, right? Well, here, you can't take them off the gold to delay their ship production. They can just take it on the water. So I think because you can get food and you can get the gold on the water, water becomes doubly as important here. So we're going to see some boats, just as everyone expected. And maybe we'll be wrong later on. But get ready. I'm really curious on the amount of docks before they click up to Castle Age. I would guess that Hera's going to be on something like 5 before Castle Age.
And Hera's going really aggressive. There are those islands in the middle, and there tend to be fewer whales around the islands. And so far, it looks like Hera just putting his fishing ships on the fish and not taking the whales yet. He can get 1 whale from each of the docks, but not quite as easily as ACCM can.
Yeah, but you don't really need that much because you have 100 golds, and you can just shift over 2 to 3 fishing ships now. I think the ratio I've seen, and I haven't practiced it myself, but it's about 3 on food and then 3 on the whales. So I think that's Hera making that adjustment right now. You don't want to overtake either resource, food, or gold, and the wood eco is the most important thing. We've got 20 on wood for Hera with the Celt wood bonus. It's 21 for ACCM back at his base.
And Hera's opening with galleys, so not the Hulk opening that I think a lot of players has opened with Hulks, then gone to galleys. Here it's just straight galleys.
Well, if that's the case, if everyone's going Hulks, galleys counter Hulks, so that's a pretty damn good opening. ACCM's got a bit of a guessing game to go for as well here. And ACCM is going to open with fires, which actually, he'll find out, pretty good against the galley opening. So this is our new water tech tree, bit of a triangle at play. And yeah, we're going to get into it here. Game number 1, and I really feel ACCM needs this win. If he is going to win, this is the type of map. Any map that has water, that is where you have to beat Hera. Otherwise, you might have very little chances.
Yeah, and Hera's going to split up the galleys. He'll find the scout, but he wants to sail around both sides of the island, I think, to try to find those docks as fast as he can.
It's actually nice for ACCM. He got to see a galley, so he knows that Hera's opening galleys. If he didn't see that, he still might second guess himself a little bit. so no big issues there.
And he's splitting his fires too. He's trying to intercept both groups of galleys. And here the galleys don't have fletching yet, so this is the best time for the fires to engage.
Yep, fires have high pierce armor. Hera will see this. But I think Hulks are really just not going to be seen anymore on this map because they're so useless against the docks themselves, and it gives the opponent a chance to recover. So I think both players are going to do a combination of the fires, which are going to be in front, and then the galleys behind. And pretty much the whole game I'd expect for that combination.
Yeah, and as long as you have enough galleys to counter Hulks, you're probably going to stop your opponent from making the Hulks, even if they want to counter the fires. You're mostly going to go galley plus fire.
Resources collected. Pretty strong here for the Celts. Remember that wood bonus. Hera has picked this Civ second for a reason. It does make you think a little bit, though, because ACCM did pick Dravidians first on his draft. So he put even greater priority on Dravidians, as Hera says, you've gone a little bit too far, my friends. And ACCM has to back away with the fire.
Yeah, and he's not going to get any fish there. The fires, you really need to amass several of them before pushing the docks. That's not an early feudal push, which is why I think some players like to go for that galley opening or even the Hulk opening, just because you're not going to be effective until you've actually won a bit of a fight on the water and then can push the docks.
Yeah, so here it's like numbers are even, and you're going to be tempted to say, the best way for me to win this now is to go Castle Age. So we may see a market soon, and selling of the stone, buying of the food, right? But from what I saw in that Andy Harris series, I learned actually using the market too early is a mistake, and you really just need big numbers right now.
And that's the mistake ACCM made on this map earlier when he played his group stage set against Winchester. That's the game he lost when he went Castle Age too early and lost the water in feudal.
If you like aggression, I know not everyone's the biggest fan of water, but listen, this is actually exciting stuff that we're talking about going 4 or 5 dock production, because if you don't, you're going to get punished, and that is not what water used to be. Hera's going up to dock number 4, I believe, if I'm getting my count right. And he's going to keep spamming. Galleys and fires coming out. There they are. That's 5 docks now from Hera. This is crazy.
That's what you used to see sometimes with those old Viking galley wars. But here we have one big fight. The fires there in the middle, who just about even on the ship numbers. I think ACCM has a slight advantage and will have his reinforcements closer to his docks too.
It is 4 dock production from ACCM right now. Fletching was late for him. He's going to get it now. The galleys are focusing each other down. Then it's fire v fire. I think Hera, he's just really outnumbered in the fires there, so I think maybe a little too focused on the galley micro. And ACCM, 7 kills, 3 deaths so far.
That's a great fight and a great opening for ACCM. And he's just going to keep pressuring Hera and continue moving forward. He has to be careful getting close to Hera's docks where his reinforcements will be there. But so far, so good for ACCM.
Yeah, it's tough, though. You have a lot of weak boats. You don't exactly have the APM, even at this level, to send individual villagers to repair every one. It takes a really long time as well. So this could easily swing. I'm still curious, though, what the resources are going to look like and what the dock count's going to look like. Should also point out where the fish is expanding to. ACCM's kind of running out of fish right now. Unless he shifts his fishing ships to the very back of his island, Hera overextends again, and another ship thrown away there.
It feels like Hera, yeah, maybe a bit more of an easy fishing eco, but that's going to matter if you want to click up to the Castle Age, right? If you're just staying full feudal and pumping ships, the fish aren't really as important.
Yep. Still no market from either player. 15 minutes into this game. Very fast start. Micro from ACCM has looked on par with Hera's here. The macro has looked on par as well. Remember, the Celts should have the better eco at this stage, but resources collected's even. But it still feels so close. I think we're going to get to Castle Age. It's just a matter of, will we be even? And will the uptimes be even? There's our first market.
All right, that's ACCM. I think you're going to sell the stone here and then buy food. I mean, is it an option to sell stone and just use it for wood for more docks?
I need you to look top right now. He has 2 ships in queue. So he goes market. This is the same thing we talked about. He goes market, and now he's not continuously producing ships. Hera's got 5 docks producing at the moment. So this is Hera's chance in theory.
Does ACCM feel like maybe he has enough ships he can defend his docks, that he's taken fights that are good enough he can fall back with the defender's advantage? It's always so difficult to tell that exact moment when you need to click up.
No, it is. I think he's judged it pretty nicely, but anything can happen here. There's a lot of fire at play. There's also lots of those galleys behind. ACCM, I think, isn't taking the best of fights, though. I think he needs to back off for now. And Hera ties up the KD, even goes ahead by 1 kill there. So now 12-11 for Hera. We know he's still producing consistently, and he will continue to do so. This is very similar to what happened when freaking Andy was against Hera. He clicks up to Castle Age a little faster, or that was the goal, and then Hera pushes back.
And he's not clicking up for Castle Age. He sold the stone. He's floating 500 food, but he stopped his production. We see he's restarting the fire ship production now. Maybe a bit of a panic, realizing he made a mistake.
And he overextends, right? That's where his rally point was. And suddenly this snowball's out of control quick. This is precisely what we talked about. I think right now on water, it's just spam boats. Forget about Castle Age. Take down their docks. But ACCM's galleys and his fires are just enough. His reinforcements are here. And oh man, what a close fight, T-West. Hera backs away.
And he needs that defender's advantage with the production from his docks. And ACCM, he fell behind really far in KD, but he managed to even it up just there at the end. It's now 24-22 for Hera. And importantly for ACCM, his fishing ships are still alive, but he needs to start moving them around the back of his island. But there won't be whales.
Yeah, the galleys are just not going to be incredibly useful. I think it's all about fires right now. You need to keep your galleys alive, of course, but queuing up more galleys is a mistake in my opinion. Your fires are going to take down the docks. Your fires are going to get a lot more value.
And if you're Dravidians, you also have to worry about losing the docks, means you might get housed.
Yeah.
And that will devastate your production on these galley fights.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. Both players have been to get their houses up.
And he's up to the Castle Age.
Yeah.
He needs to hold until he gets his Castle Age upgrades down. I think Hera can feel that, and he wants to be aggressive knowing ACCM's clicked up.
When a player backs up like this, there's a reason for it. And Hera also saw the difference in production, right? And so, yeah, he's forcing the issue here. ACCM has to fight here, because if he loses here, he'll lose 2 docks. It's acceptable to maybe lose 1, and he's barely holding on.
Just barely. Hera has so many galleys. It feels like he's falling behind in fire numbers. Maybe that gives ACCM the chance to push him back if he has more fires. But it's such a close fight here. But a close fight is not really what you want when you don't have the production.
Yeah, it's so close right now. Hera senses there's the timing he needs to hit, but at the same time, ACCM is still somehow just barely matching. I'd honestly love to see ACCM get more docks up. I don't think he's producing enough, T-West. I'm not seeing the production. One more dock in the behind this would have been really nice, and he's going to have to give that one up. And Hera, still not on the way to Castle Age, still just spamming fires. Will he get worried here when he sees ACCM's uptime?
I don't think he will. I think he's right where he wants to be. I think he understands the meta, Celts have a great wood bonus, and he can pull back now, and he can wait for the upgrades, but have more ships when he upgrades them.
Yeah, this is so cool though. Like the way, like the faster Castle Age almost always swings games, right?
And this is so different from how it was played in the qualifier, where it was front dock, fast castle every single game. And these changes to the docks and the fish garrisoning and the patches have really made a difference in the meta for this map.
Okay, ship upgrades on the way. There were some additional docks back here from ACCM. Hera sees that. I don't think Hera's going to have an easy time taking down a dock before any of these upgrades come in.
No.
So he needs to be careful here.
I think Hera's goal is to push ACCM as far back as he can to give himself as much room to retreat and wait for his upgrade.
Yeah, also you can intercept ships like that. There's one ship in the north that ACCM's going to lose. That's pretty wasteful.
He might snipe that dock. The fires take them down pretty quickly. Has to be wary of medium warships, as ACCM's going to get that right now.
I think right there, I'm being critical, but it's a semifinal. I think ACCM needed to run past him, sail past him when Hera was on the underside of that dock and intercept like 4 or 5 ships. Missed out on an opportunity there.
And now it's feudal galleys. It always does feel easier to micro the feudal galleys than it does the Castle Age ships. They're just a bit smaller and easier to move. So Hera might just enjoy retreating right now, try to do whatever damage he can, but he really needs to buy himself time for his own upgrades now. He's a minute away from the Castle Age.
This is the most critical minute here. We've got the fire upgrade on the way that's going to give them a charge attack. Hera won't have his warships upgrade in for about 2 minutes. I think ACCM should take docks here. Take the docks. We saw Hera do this. Take the production from Hera, and then Hera will suffer. Yeah, look, Hera has to come back in and take possibly a questionable fight because he knows he can't lose his production.
Yep. And we have the Siphons upgrade also for the fire ships. That gives them an attack bonus. ACCM with the University to do all of his upgrades too. That's important. Here's the fight. Hera does not have medium warships. ACCM has upgraded fire ships. And this is the fight ACCM wants.
Yeah, and now just shift to the dock. You got a good fight, shift to the dock, take that dock out, and then back away. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Hera has ships queued in there, and that'll eliminate production. And now you're concerned because you know Hera's going to have the upgrades. Get ready to back away if you're ACCM and research that tech right there. That'll allow him to move a bit faster. Hera's galleys, by the way, they're trying to go in. Hera's galleys are just going to get chased down. What a waste from Hera, trying to get sneaky for fish. But he's losing a lot right now.
And faster Castle Age, finally paying off for someone, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really close game so far. I actually think it's been one of the closest games we've seen on this map the entire tournament. Usually by now, the games have been decided, but that is not the case here. ACCM putting up a big fight against Hera, and he has his upgrades now. Hera's got to catch up with the Clinker Construction upgrade.
And the Celts still have that great wood bonus, but the farther we go into the game, the better the tech tree at the dock will be for ACCM.
Interesting. I want to know what HP that dock was at right now.
It's low. It's on fire.
Yeah.
282.
I wonder if he could have stayed there and sniped that. Hera's galleys are out of the picture now. Hera, I don't think, has the Siphons upgrade either. And you can kind of sense it. And now the Hawks are going to become a factor for ACCM because there's no galleys for Hera. Actually, I say that there's galleys behind. He's still got the numbers, but this is looking much better for the underdog ACCM.
Look at that KD, 64 to 54. He's starting to pull ahead. Has to be so careful in these fights, but he wants to take it. He doesn't want to retreat here, and I think he's starting to get the advantage with the Siphons upgrade.
I think Siphons made a big difference here. It's fire v fire, but that extra technology has taken down Hera's fires, and Hera probably can't believe it. If ACCM can just continue to push, he can take down the docks, and he can win this game very quickly.
Well, ACCM picked Dravidians first in his draft for a reason. He has the fires. He's pushing against the war galleys. Remember, demos are not effective anymore. You don't have a quick way to clear them. The water can really snowball on ACCM now, 87 to 67 KD.
ACCM should win this game from here. He should take down the docks. He should push Hera back. Hera doesn't have good fishing eco. ACCM's moment, his perfect start to the semifinals is this right here. He's got to keep pushing T-West.
He's got to keep pushing, and if he ever stops, he can just turn and destroy docks too. He has different ways he can push now. He's in such a good position.
Yeah, Hera's doing what he can though. The galleys are hitting and running very nicely. I'll give him that. Unfortunately for him, all the new boats are going to pop directly into some pressure here, and ACCM's going to continue to pile on the pressure, and it's just so hard, right? You produce, and it's camped, and you almost lose the ship every time. It's really brutal for Hera.
And that defender's advantage really doesn't matter if you can't get the ships out in time. Now that you've lost the dock positioning, he's going to lose the docks. ACCM will push him with the fires, and this is so good for ACCM.
Yeah, it is. I like the mix of Hogs from ACCM, but honestly, I just stay on the fires because Hera has struggled with that Siphons upgrade. I still don't think Hera's researched it himself. Maybe the resources aren't there, or maybe it was researched and I missed it, but looking there, I don't think it's in. Unless, maybe it's not shown.
I always feel like when I look at Capturized, I don't know where anything is now. Now that it's in the university instead of the dock, it's in a different location.
I mean, I believe I'm only seeing a charge from ACCM.
Well, here's a question. Is there a way, unless you're noticing the charge, can you click on the ship and see Siphons? I'm not sure if you can.
The white bar at the bottom.
The white bar, that's true. The white bar at the bottom will show you the charge attack.
Yeah. Right. But it's interesting because you can see and hear the charge attack. So there's that notification that tells Hera the opponent has a charge, and he has not gone for that yet himself. He's committing mainly to the war galleys. And the war galleys are going to be rather complicated because careening's on the way for ACCM, which gives him the additional armor. I have felt that Hera's weaknesses is the water maps. ACCM's ahead with a lot of important technologies and timings this game.
Yeah, and these water maps, they're so close, and ACCM had just the right moment to click up. And Hera was pushing him. He didn't lose too much, and Hera is now completely pushed back behind his docks. He won't be able to reinforce his ships, and ACCM can pick off all of the docks.
Hera's gonna be like, what? How have I not killed these yet? But it's because of the next upgrade. There's more Pierce armor now, and Hera might just tap out now because his production's canned. ACCM wins game number 1.
ACCM, well, if only this were a best of 1. It's a best of 7. Hera has time to come back, but this is the start ACCM wanted. Also, Hera, second pick in the draft was Celts. Dravidians first for ACCM, but they both put a really big priority on game number 1.
Here we go, and it is the expected picks here. Game number 2, we hear the crowd here as it will be Hera playing as the Japanese and ACCM as the Sicilians. This map, your wood, your berries, your stone, your gold, everything is in range of some type of tower or aggression. So you have to be very aggressive to hold the map control here.
Yeah, everything is forward, and you have a bunch of cliffs, so there's nothing in the back of your base. You can wall yourself, but when you wall, you're not really protecting anything. You're forced to go forward.
Yeah, Hera's got an interesting situation where he actually can wall a little bit. These two wood lines are pretty close together. So you see the wood lines are separated for ACCM. That Hera's base, he's got that house in between two wood lines there. That's pretty nice. Just to give him a little bit more safety, but the gold's still very exposed on the left-hand side.
And both of his golds are together, so if ACCM gets forward and gets a donjon in the right position, that's going to be nasty.
Yeah, it's so tough, though, right? Because how are you supposed to get there? Like, you're going to have to walk forward, and Hera will have the fastest man-at-arm build possible on this map with the fastest attacking man-at-arms. If ACCM survives the first 5 minutes, then his civilization can work out. But like defending from that, not so easy here.
Oh, he's forward with the build, taking from the Foxes. Remember, you can build the donjons now in the Dark Age, but they don't shoot any arrows until you actually get up to the Feudal Age, and you can't make the Sergeants until you're Feudal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about where you'd even build it here, because your berries are on the left, your wood's on the right. You almost want, if you're going to build the dungeon here, you almost want all your resources together, but that never really happens. So decisions to make there for ACCM.
Well, that's what makes this map so tricky. You need to find a way to protect your wood, protect your gold, protect your stone. There's something that you can protect, and it's hard to deny everything from your opponent, but figuring out the right way to place your towers or pressure your men-at-arms is the key.
Yeah, Hera just going to push in some deer. Both players trying to get some additional food. The boars here only have 300 food, so it's a bit tougher to get the food required for men-at-arms, and Vodka zooming in on the famous Brazilian fox over there.
I needed something on the map not really native to the region, but sometimes you just put stuff there for gameplay reasons.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's actually been something that some players have taken advantage of. Hera hasn't gone for any foxes, but he's going to be happy to just mine the gold, and he's got plenty of bonuses with the Japanese.
Yeah, and remember, the Foxes have 35 gold each, and you don't need to drop them off. The villagers just collect from the Fox, and the gold goes straight into your inventory.
Yeah, which is very unique. Typically, you have to collect a resource and take it somewhere, but that's not the case here.
And both players just enjoying pushing in their deer, and up to the Feudal Age at similar times, Donjon in front of the berries, so Sergeants might be what ACCM goes for. Also, what do you think of the Donjon location prioritizing the berries over maybe a gold?
If you think of the ratio of villagers that you need collecting, you need so much more on food than you do gold here, right? Even if you mine gold, it's 2 on gold. If you're taking food, you're going to want like 10 or 11. So I actually really like that. Missing out on your berries would hurt. And also, he already collected gold with the foxes. So I think he's factored all of this into his build. He's not really going to need the gold. He needs the other resources protected.
And he's really walled that right side of his base. The tricky thing about going to Sergeants, as you said earlier, the Japanese have such a fast men-at-arms rush. Yep. ACCM will need to produce after he gets to the Feudal Age, and Hera already has the militia on their way forward.
It's not what Hera would have wanted, right? He doesn't want to see a dungeon on the front. He doesn't want to see a good base structure that he can't immediately attack. This loop around from Hera, he's desperate for some damage, but like, is that what you want to do right now? Can't ACCM see you?
ACCM even walling from the edge of the map to the town center, making sure those militia can't get to the back. Don't think Hera will get in here. I think he'll just loop around and see that it's walled.
This is so smart from ACCM. He needed to defend from the early attack. He has so far. And Hera is questioning whether or not he can attack anything at the moment, but it's still Japanese. And Sergeant's actually able to go forward now, and ACCM has left himself exposed! He has the villagers there! He did everything else, but this is the easiest thing, is just keep one villager walled, and the archer range villager goes down.
He was hoping the Donjon would keep them safe, but Hera decided to dive. Hera hasn't even done men-at-arms, just looking at now. He did double Bidax first, focusing on the eco. Can ACCM wall the Vill? Yes, he can.
Hera's got to protect himself as well at the same time. This is going to be tough for both, but it should actually be a bit tougher here for ACCM. That's man-at-arms, and Hera isn't attacking because Hera is losing villagers at home. Can the villagers survive here? Wow, Hera was so busy against the Sergeants. He might even overextend here as well.
Oh, can ACCM save that villager?
Nice block.
Hera gets the kill. Nice blocking just outside the TC range. The Sergeant's though is still forward. He's desperately trying to wall.
Oh, this is so interesting, right? ACCM says, screw my vills. I'll lose a couple as long as Hera's losing villagers as well. And Hera's villagers are blocked off, and Hera's getting massacred here.
That's now 3-2 Vill kills. Can ACCM get another? He's close to the TC. Hera will try to wall. He's moving to the gold, though. That is a risk.
But that's the most important thing. Both players are not mining gold, so they can't continuously go for their follow-up. And in Hera's case, he only has 21 gold. So he actually has to bring the man-at-arms home to clear this. Then maybe he can get more on gold to make archers.
And now, what do you prefer as a follow-up? Archers, or do you just go skirms?
I like 2 archers. You go 2 archers if you have the gold for it. Neither player does, but the idea is to mix in some archers against the infantry, and then you want to go skirms against the opponent's archers.
And who wins Japanese men-at-arms against Sergeants?
I'm going to go with the units that are low HP, or sorry, not low HP.
That are high HP?
Yep.
I think so too. That's one very low HP Sergeant, and Hera still has the Scout there. Yeah. Try to be as annoying as he can with the Scout, but he really wants to keep the Scout alive.
Yeah, but the beauty of having that dungeon is you can actually fall back and you can just heal them up ever so slowly if need be. I think this is ever so slightly wasteful from ACCM. To be honest with you, while he's had a great game, imagine if he just walled up those vills at home and then hit Hera. I think he could have a much bigger lead than he has right now.
Yeah, and Hera's just going to try to risk that scout to draw some archer fire, but I don't think ACCM's going to fall for it.
Yeah, ACCM should not fire on that scout at all. And surprised that we see the fight here, actually, because Hera's underneath the donjon.
Exactly like you said, fall back to the donjon, let the donjon do the work.
Yep, heal up the weak ones. 8 military for ACCM, 5 military versus Hera. ACCM has held the first 5 minutes of Feudal Age. This isn't a bad spot for him at all.
I think I prefer his position. And one thing he's missing, though, is that farm upgrade. We know the Sicilians get extra wood from that farm upgrade. Long term on this map, you don't have much wood. And that's what I've been hearing players say about the Sicilians. They like those farming upgrades.
Yeah, I think you got to get fletching first. Once you get fletching, you can be okay. Again, Hera not prepared to deal with the continuous pressure, and another villager goes down. So far, this series has just been ACCM. It's so well played. I mean, I love the lack of fear here, right? So many people are going to have fear against Hera,
the scout,
and they don't go aggressive. They don't feel like they could do anything against him. But facts remain that ACCM can do so and is doing so far.
And this is wonderful. Look at that 10-6 military. He's breaking through, forcing Hera to quick wall, and he has skirms to deal with Hera's archers now. I don't think Hera can push this back, and that gold's exposed now.
Yeah, that's good from Hera, though. This relieves a little bit of pressure. Like, him arriving there does stop the reinforcements, but notice how ACCM says, I'm not chasing you. He goes, all right, go ahead. I'm just going to go here again because I know I can do some damage to your eco.
And remember, in the long run, ACCM 3 more vills on stone I just saw there. If he does sergeants, he can build more donjons with them.
Really surprised we haven't seen fletching from either player, though. I think maybe it's just a resource issue, but fletching seems so important, especially for Hera, who's behind in this game. Like, you got to get your upgrades here.
Now it looks like we have a skirm war, 8 skirms to 5. And at this point, it becomes harder to use the archers when there are so many skirms out. And it seems like these players are not continuing to commit to men-at-arms. Or, well, ACCM is making another sergeant.
Yeah, if you can win this fight here with fletching, then you can use your sergeants and you can tower and take Hera off gold. This is actually a huge moment in the game.
That would be beautiful if you can get a donjon up forward on that gold, because they're both in that same spot. One donjon denies both of them.
I mean, unless I'm missing something. I mean, he has the blacksmith. He just isn't getting the upgrades right now, ACCM. It's there, but maybe he's so focused on the fights. Hera's getting fletching, so Hera will have the range unit advantage.
He wants the donjon. That's going to be nasty on the wood and both golds if he puts it right there.
I think, yeah.
Oh, there he goes.
Let's try it and see if he can force Hera's hand. See what Hera does here. Hera might need to counter tower this. Again, no fletching. So
the sergeants are kind of weak. Maybe the skirms could try to pick them off, but yeah, there he goes, that counter tower.
Yeah, still no fletching. Hera has fletching. He goes for the counter tower. He sees the sergeants are weak. With fletching, he's taking down the sergeants pretty quickly. This could be really good for Hera. I think the position for ACCM is there where with some minor tweaks to the decision-making, he can put Hera in some big problems, but the lack of upgrades is going to give Hera a shot here. I think Hera might attack the base of this donjon. He's attacking the sergeants first. This is good focus firing. And then there's not going to be a lot to garrison. Hera might just go full send at this.
Wait, can ACCM construct this donjon? How close is it? He pulls back. He's not going to finish the donjon. 97%. He's trying to dodge the tower fire, but he pulls the sergeant back. He needs to send more sergeants.
Yeah, and that's more resources he's spending without getting fletching for his ranged units. And the fletching also affects the donjons as well, right? He's bringing in more. Hera knows he's going to come finish this eventually. And there it is. It's up. But does it fire enough arrows when you don't have the sergeants to garrison? It's complicated for Hera, though.
And when you don't even have the archers to garrison, because the archers are what really add more arrows to it.
Yeah.
But it's a tower fight. If he gets more sergeants, he can just run the base of Hera's tower and try to take down the tower.
And where's Hera going to take wood? Hera's going to take wood here. There's skirmishers here. Where's he going to take farms? That could get donjoned as well. Like, Hera's trying to go Castle Age, but Hera has a long time to wait until he makes it to Castle Age. This is a lot of pressure.
And if Hera moves, he is the Japanese, so at least he has cheap lumber camps, but every wood line for him is forward, and right now ACCM can follow him and track with the skirms.
Wow, so ACCM, sensing this is going Castle Age, actually sells stone, buys food, so he's trying to get up. And Hera is actually getting wheelbarrow now, and he's going to wait a while. He cancels wheelbarrow. I was going to say wheelbarrow takes a really long time, and Hera needs to get Castle Age, so he's on the way now.
And ACCM decides to rush the tower. Hera pops out with Vills and tries to fight the sergeants, but underneath the donjon.
Man, I can't help but feel like what would be if ACCM has had fletching this whole time, right? Like, the Donjin would be ranging more units there.
Be doing more
The
damage to the
skirmishers-
bills, most importantly, I think.
Yeah, like the skirmishers would be contributing a lot more in these fights.
But the tower goes down, and now Hera has no gold.
Yep, Hera no gold. There should be more gold though, right? Like, I think he can maybe take a risk to the right. Oh, he's taking foxes.
And he'll look for a mining camp.
Does he look for a fox? Okay,
He has to see it.
yeah, he can find that. So that'll be a little bit of gold income for Hera.
And again, Japanese cheaper mining camp if he builds the mining camp out there.
Yeah. ACCM's got to think about that as well, though, right? Like, he's got to move this direction because he knows Hera is going to be starved for gold.
It's almost like Coast Arena at this point, where if you're pushed on the front, you try to get to the golds on the side. It's kind of that same shape of the map, where you have that circle at the front, you get one spot denied, and you need to sneak out the other side of your walls.
I think if Hera senses that ACCM is not protecting the other dungeon, he could make a run for that at some point here. That is still very weak on the left-hand side. So
Can you make a run for something that can make sergeants, though?
you can when it's that weak. Like, that is super weak, and I don't think there's any units. Yeah,
There
yeah.
he goes.
Hera's
There
going to
he
make his
goes.
move.
There's two sergeants. Is that enough?
Let's see. You can attack with one and repair with one and produce another if you're ACCM, but he has to notice this right away. This could be a huge positional loss for ACCM if he loses this. There he goes.
He could kill vills here. Remember, Hera can't garrison anywhere. He's up to the castle age, but he'll lose a vill or two here at least.
Still no fletching, still no armor, not a single blacksmith upgrade for ACCM. Meanwhile, Hera is getting Bodkin arrow, and Hera's going to have access to knights. Donjin down. Hera lost villagers, but he can now reclaim that gold.
He has a low HP vill right on the edge of the wood line. He's trying to pull it back, and he's opening with a knight to deal with the skirms.
That knight is really bad sign for ACCM. He's not going to be happy to see that. And I think his best unit here is going to be the sergeants. He's still producing more skirmishers. The Hera will take down these sergeants so fast.
With Bodkin. Remember, ACCM needs to get to the castle edge to get more armor for the sergeants, and if he doesn't get there, now with Bodkin, Hera can take them down pretty efficiently with the skirms.
Ooh, man, it's a risk, but I like the energy here from Hera because he knows he has the tech advantage. He is back on the other gold. Sergeants from ACCM are going there. Hera going for quick walls now. This is some crazy quick walls. He's going to get the quick walls, but now there's sergeants here, and now he reaches castle age. I think Hera's villagers might need to run here.
Are there enough sergeants there? I think there are. Now they're in the castle age, and ACCM's getting the armor upgrade in just a moment, so now the sergeants will be so much better. Just a few seconds completely flips that sergeant versus skirmisher fight.
Yeah, Eco's completely safe for ACCM. He's just sending full pressure at Hera. Hera's doing a great job, but this is not so easy, and the sergeants getting the increased stats is such a big thing here. The dungeons as well. The dungeons are much stronger than they were too.
Yeah, that's a monastery for ACCM. Looks like he wants to also go for relics. So important if you have the map control of the sergeants to pick the relics up while you have a chance.
The thing is, like, Hera's invested most of his resources into, like, Bodkin, and Bodkin arrow on skirms doesn't actually do a ton at the moment. If ACCM can conserve his sergeant numbers, this gets extremely difficult for Hera.
And Hera has no upgrades on the knights. Because he spent it on Bodkin, he can't afford anything for the knights. And if he gets pushed off of that gold again, it's going to be no knights. And then in the castle age, you have options for siege. Hera has no vills on wood. He's got 4 wood in the bank.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's not gold, it's wood. If it's not wood, it's gold. All of these resources on the front are just so difficult to take. If ACCM can be patient here, he will get 2 wins in a row against Hera. This is so good from him. Hera's getting desperate on the left side now.
Hera's trying to run. He still somehow has a score lead, but it feels like ACCM is just in such a better position. It feels like he's the one dictating what happens in the game.
Will he see the vills? He didn't see them. I mean,
the vills are kind of idle out there. They're not really doing anything. They're just running.
But, like, if that sergeant sees that mining camp, those vills are dead. And then these vills still need to be protected. Hera's in full desperation mode.
And the tricky thing is if you chase with sergeants, you can't be quick-walled out because they can build a donjon.
Oh, and did he see that?
He sees it.
No, he doesn't see it.
His sergeant...
His sergeant sees it.
Yes, he sees it. He'll auto-attack. ACCM might still not see this, but his sergeant does.
Yeah, and I don't think Hera's going to be looking there either. Another donjon's on the way up. How can Hera stop this? Hera can't stop that donjon, which means he can't take that gold, and those vills on the other side are not going to be enough. This is a nightmare for Hera.
Another sergeant on the way, and as long as Hera has those vills on the left, maybe he has a chance. This all comes down now to scouting for ACCM. Does he find where Hera is? Oh, that mining camp, he's losing all the vills.
This is so good. ACCM just needs to hold the position. He doesn't need to push anymore. He needs to think about upgrades. He needs to play patient. That's what Hera would do if Hera had the lead. Hera is known for not exactly going for the full-on kill once you have the lead. Just take your time. The Ram's on the way. And if this gets spotted, this might be the GG moment. The villagers on the left have been spotted.
And where does Hera take anything now? ACCM is scouting the map properly. He's sending the sergeants over. Hera's trying to run again. At least he has wheelbarrow, but ACCM is aware that he's in that location. There's nowhere for Hera to run.
Hera needs one big fight. He's been healing up his knights. He's getting some upgrades he didn't have. He can take down the Scorpion. Maybe he can get a free monk there as well. ACCM's really preoccupied on the villagers. And so he's losing some of his siege and his monks. But I mean, the economy efficiency for Hera is just awful to us. It's just awful.
It's so easy for ACCM to chase and put one sergeant on the vills and the rest of your army ready for a fight.
Yeah. Hera just can't lose knights. I guess if you're going to lose vills, you can't lose knights. You need to hope to get enough knights to just completely clear the sergeants. But how? How? There's sergeants everywhere.
And he fights under the donjon. He's going to have arrow fire in the fights too.
Yeah, he's trying. He's going to stack up.
He's taking it.
Again, the upgrades for ACCM have not been fantastic this game.
A monk.
The monk comes out of the dungeon. It doesn't get the conversion. Does Hera have a chance? Does Hera have a chance? He's clearing the army. The sergeants are all in different positions.
Does ACCM need to think about spears or maybe the pikeman upgrade to the donjons now if he sees that many knights?
No, I think with the skirms there, it's not really worth it. I think just get this additional armor upgrade and hold the line. More sergeants, more dungeons to produce the sergeants. You still got a good position. My goodness, where's Hera even taking wood right now?
He has 4 vills on wood. He is so lucky that he has the cheap drop sites this game. He's been using them and running back and forth.
Yeah. Dungeon's still up. The Scorpion will move in. Hera needs to take care of these monks if he can. He also needs some time to heal up. And he needs to pray that's not a conversion. It's not a conversion.
Well,
which is
he
crazy.
have the knights? The sergeants are cheaper than the knights. There are so many donjons. They can build more if they get knocked down. He picks off the Scorpion. Does he need elite skirm just for better skirms here too?
I want to see upgrades. I don't even think he has squires, right? Like his sergeants are so slow. I think with squires, he has a little bit more mobility.
Oh, looks like he does have upgrades. He needs some blacksmith upgrades too.
Hera's going for +2 attack at the moment, so he's
upgrading the knights.
Yeah, but also, like, let's just say ACCM chills here. Doesn't he still win?
Look at his Villy, 58 to 42.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as he doesn't give up all the map control, he even has some relics now. He has the first relic in a great monastery to collect more in the middle of the map. And still, how does Hera knock down all of those donjons? He can take them maybe one at a time, but I don't think he can keep taking fights if ACCM's army's there.
Yeah.
Does he want to fight this?
I like the patience here from ACCM. He's maybe not going to be so patient after all, though. He's going in with his skirms to try and snipe the monks. He has to snipe some monks here. If he loses all his skirms, Hera can get conversions, and all the skirms go down. Hera is barely holding on here. I think ACCM doesn't realize because of the score how good his situation is.
Yeah, he might not. He's trying to do another donjon. He has so many sergeants building it, but he's still not going to get it up. He can fall back to the donjons to help against the monks, though. That helps so much if the towers can shoot the monks and keep them away from converting.
No fletching. So the dungeons still do not contribute that much in the fights. ACCM needs a deep breath. He needs +2 armor. He needs devotion. He needs fletching. He just needs some upgrades. And for Hera, you can never lose a fight here. You max out every engagement. This is T-West. I've seen Hera win a bunch of tournaments. He's always vulnerable at times, right? There are times where people have better strategy, but he can pull these back. This is like, Hera wins this. You're like, okay, we've seen this before. Hera's going to go to the finals. The underdog needs to win these types of games against him.
And here, does Hera dive here? 2 donjons, a bunch of sergeants, some conversions for ACCM, and he pulls back. He gets a villain, pulls back. He's so good at making these judgment calls of when he can fight and when he can't take fights.
Yeah.
And he's so good at just moving units around the map without losing them, too.
Can we see ACCM's Fog of War for a second? Because, like, I'd like to see a little bit of outposting, but I think he does recognize that there's not much more for Hera than right here. So if Hera can't push out of this position, he's in a very poor position long term.
And he's trying to move with the knights and the skirms. If ACCM gets a good mangonel shot on those skirms, that might end the game, because then the monks convert the knights. Those skirms are so important for Hera, even though they're just feudal age skirms.
Dude, this is the slowest moving army I've ever seen. Like, it is infuriating.
Squires, there we go.
Thank you. It is infuriating to watch. Hera with the stack patrol there. This is before some big upgrades come in, and stack patrolling is so OP with melee units.
But it's melee versus melee. ACCM can do it too. He's going for the mangonel. The Monk's maybe not in position to convert, but he stops for a moment.
There's Monks on the other side. The skirms are out of position. Hera's skirms are going down. He accidentally clicked a chicken, and it's full upgrade Sergeants finally for ACCM.
He's pushing with the Ram, the mangonel, chasing the Knights away. Hera not able to take a fight like he wanted to. He's trying to save the Knights, but loses the skirms.
Oh my god.
This just looks better for ACCM as he actually takes a score lead now.
I don't know though. There's 6 Monks. There's 6 Monks, and Hera will have enough stone to build a castle. If Hera gets 6 conversions, he inherits the upgrades that ACCM has gone for, and then he can drop a castle. This will come down
But
to
ACCM,
a castle.
he can drop a castle, and he's Sicilians. He has the faster building castles.
Let's see. I have no clue how this is going to go. I think Hera should have lost this game 10 times. I think ACCM got really nervous. I think ACCM has been feeding a little bit of army here. Will Hera send all his vills here? You might build it underneath the dungeon as well, to be honest.
Is ACCM going to take this fight? This feels like this might be the fight Hera wants more than ACCM. The Monks are there for Hera healing.
I can't tell. I can't tell. I'm double checking the HP, but there's villagers in the HP bar. So it's all about the knights. It's all about the army in the middle, and the sergeants are tanking. There's no conversions on either side. The production's got to be there. ACCM will drop a castle. More sergeants are on the way. Hera's monks aren't converting. Will Hera bring his own vills? Hera's winning the fight. Hera's getting conversions again. Castle going up for ACCM.
And it feels like ACCM didn't have to take that fight. Hera gonna try to drop a castle on the Sicilian castle, and he realizes it's Sicilians and falls back. He can't do that castle right under ACCM's, but now he sees ACCM's castle. He can put his castle wherever he wants.
Interesting. I mean, we've got Pikeman now for ACCM, which feels like a good play. Because he's been having issues. The game saver for Hera really has been the monks. Fletching, again, would contribute with the castles and the dungeons. All of these buildings should have fletching, and ACCM needs to delete that knight. He's not able to notice. He's not able to keep track.
There's so much going on for ACCM. No more skirms for Hera, so the pikemen might be a bit more effective now that the skirms are out.
Yeah, I know, like, you gotta stack your military units right here. The way Hera's stacking up his knights gives him such better engagements, and ACCM just isn't really doing that. But there are the pikemen now.
Now he has the pikemen.
Where's Hera place his castle, T-West?
He's got to protect the gold somewhere, right? He's running out of gold in his main base. The donjons are coming forward for ACCM. He can build them with villagers too. Is that a good castle spot? It protects 2 golds. I think you have to go there. 2 golds in a wood line.
I think ACCM's going to run at it, and I think if he garrisons there, villagers could be in trouble, but I guess the monks are on the left, and Hera will place his castle. Yeah, it doesn't actually change the situation, though, does it? He still can't really take that much more golds.
He can't take the forward gold underneath ACCM's castle. And his back gold still is running out since that's the one he's been taking. ACCM has a hole in the wall, and the converted sergeants can raid his wood line. It's a lot of knights, but now the pikemen don't want to fight under the castle, and crucially, Hera has Bodkin to zone off more map with the castle.
Listen, this isn't about, I'm not biased towards one player or another. I'm biased towards fletching when you have 18 dungeons and 10 million castles. Like, the lack of fletching is hurting ACCM so badly right now. He would be ranging so much more in these engagements. And it's giving Hera an opportunity to just skirt around the outside, get some wood, and maybe now he can make Samurai here. Samurai might not be a bad play for Hera.
That's true. That counters the sergeants, counters the pikemen, and that would be a great play.
I think he should. I think he's got enough knights already. I think Samurai are a very fast-producing unit from one castle as well. Nice job from Hera. He's used the converted units to get raids and also to kill monks. And I also noticed that both players are starting to make Rams, T-West.
Rams push the castles. Also, look at that resource collected difference. ACCM up by 10,000 extra resources collected.
Yeah, but if you think of the cost of the units that he's feeding to Hera time and time again, I think it's actually pretty close in terms of the values the armies have gotten. Hera has 50 kills. That's mainly on sergeants this game, and that's not factoring in any conversions he's gotten as well.
And here you have the Rams. Do you think it's worth it for ACCM just to do a mangonel to defend the castle from a ram push? Or would the Knights just go in and snipe it?
I think he wants a big fight here, and I think maybe he'll drop a castle here thinking that Hera's going to run out of resources. Hera can't build another castle of his own. And yeah, there goes the sergeants and the pikemen lined up there. Still don't see the castle yet, but it's ACCM, so I'm expecting the vills to be coming here shortly.
And where does he put the castle? Does it have to go on that left side? Could he sneak a castle on the right side, maybe long-term control the golds with a castle when the armies aren't there?
Maybe. I mean, you already do have control over that area. I kind of like it right here. You just saw the vills from Hera. You know Hera's backed away into the corner again. So I would full send it in this position.
So many monks, though. I don't know if you can take that fight for ACCM. Here comes the Samurai.
Well, there's only 5 units. So maybe you can turn around and engage, actually. The Rams from ACCM are going down. So he's choosing to go in with Lonely Rams, which I don't love. The Hera Samurai will engage. Yeah, the Ram ended up going down there.
What does ACCM have to fight Samurai? Nothing. He has to hope they run under his towers and castles.
Yeah, and he has to hope he gets fletching so he can actually hit those Samurai. To be fair, though, Hera doesn't have any infantry armor whatsoever. So that's something that Hera really needs to get for the Samurai.
Is he going to take this fight? It feels like he wants to. I don't know if he wins it. There is the castle right on his TC.
I mean, if you're worried about this one, you might as well go for that one. Hera's not taking engagements here. He's just waiting for conversions. And Hera losing that farming eco is going to be horrible. His eco's already been behind. That'll make it 10 times worse.
And Hera doesn't have any stone right now. He can't do a counter castle. I don't think he can stop it. He's trying for a town center just to keep the Ville safe.
Notice the shift from ACCM. He says, I'm not going to engage all the time now. I'm just going to be patient. And I'm going to wait for you to come to me. And if you're not going to take the map, I'm going to take it from you. It's been a very nice adjustment from ACCM. And Hera, again, it's like, where's he going for resources?
Does that TC get denied? Does ACCM move? Does he fight? Does ACCM fight?
He doesn't see it. He wants the relic.
He just wants the relic. He says, you can have that TC, I'll have the relic.
But now he's going to like make the monks. He's like, I can do this too. I can convert your army as well. And it's still a massive villager lead for ACCM, and Hera can't take resources.
And as long as they both have monks, they'll both get a third castle from ACCM on the TC.
Hera has to fight. Hera has to fight. There's no choice here. There's no choice here. He has to engage. They go past each other here on the stack. But Hera's units aren't actually engaging, and there's no way this castle gets denied. ACCM
is going to do it. That's why he let the TC goes up. He says, you build a TC, I'll let you do it. I'll build a castle. ACCM's winning the fight.
Crazy, crazy, dude. What is the start to this semifinal? ACCM. What a performance here. He's definitely the underdog.
And he's up 2-0. He's up 2-0 over Hera T90.
Wow. Crazy, dude. Crowd's loving it. Crowd's loving it. And I mean, this is what a LAN's all about, right? This is the energy you want to see from the crowds. Here we are. And let's see if Hera could turn this ship around here. Down 2 games in the best of 7, which predictions would have told you was not going to happen.
Yep, and this is Seados Courageous, and Hera will be picking his very first overall pick, the Maya. ACCM going towards the end of his draft, his second to last pick save in the Tatars.
Yeah. First thing I wanted to look at here is the gold positions, because occasionally one player can get a gold position rather forward. And it doesn't look like we have that. They both have a back gold available. A little surprised Hera's getting Loom right now, T-West. You don't have to do so.
Unless you might just feel it smoother?
I don't see how, but maybe I'm missing something. My initial thought was he would actually bring a villager forward with his eagle and try and lame. But yeah, it just gets Loom. They still should have a villager advantage long term, and very fast mining camp from ACCM as well, which is also surprising.
Right, and the Maya, usually on a standard game, you start with 4 vills, so you're housed right away, and you have to do Loom at the start. With the 9 vill start, you start with 2 houses, so as long as you get your eco rolling properly, you can skip Loom if you want to.
Yeah, so it just, the reason it's weird is you're down a vill a bit earlier than you really need to be, but there's the mining camp as well from Hera. So I guess it's going to be Archer opening for both.
And he's going for the early mining camp. The Maya are a civ that have the discount on their Archer line, and they can overwhelm you with numbers, with crossbow numbers. The Tatars for ACCM picked because this map has tons of hills around it, and they have an extra bonus when they're on top of the hills.
Also, majority of the games have been scouts, transitioning into walls, transitioning into cav archers. And the Tatars have fantastic cav archers. So the fact that we're seeing a range as the plan already for ACCM tells me maybe he's expecting some type of militia play from Hera, but that's not going to be the case.
And when I look at Hera's map, I think it's particularly hard to wall compared to some other generations on this one, which makes the scouts a bit more valuable because they can get in. I'm looking at that big gap on the left side of Hera's base between the 2 wood lines over there.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go that far forward to wall.
So the benefit of the Mayans is your resources last longer and you have the extra bill, and your archers are cheaper. The Tatars, look at all the leftover food. That lasts super long time. So basically, ACCM, while he doesn't have any direct archer bonuses, he doesn't need to put villagers into farms nearly as fast, which means he can invest the wood into the archery ranges and the blacksmith faster than Hera can, in theory.
And they have to be careful in this fight. ACCM, if he ever gets a hill bonus on the Eagle in the Dark Age, he'll take the fight, but otherwise he really wants to wait until Feudal.
Yeah. ACCM could have actually chased that down a little bit. choosing to build a very forward barracks, and Hera could see that, and he's actually going to back away. But Hera didn't see the gold, so Hera doesn't know what the build is, and it's going to be the same for ACCM until he scouts something at Hera's base.
And Hera walling, trying to be fully walled, but those walls, he has a lot of wood in the back, but they expose his TC, and this is a really tricky map for him to play.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it, though. I think if you try and wall incorporating your berries, it's way too difficult and leaves yourself too exposed. You want wood and you want gold. He's going to have both of those things. So that's not bad. And when you have the villager lead, you're always going to be happy in Hera's position. So
what kind of worries me, though, is that the TC isn't included in the walls. And if he wants to make vills and send them to the back, he might be leaving openings that scouts can get in.
yeah, I'm wondering how much Hera saturates his berries here. And even when the mill goes up, because he doesn't actually need to go mill right now. But I think it's like he's trying to get it out of the way so he can just transition into farm safely around the TC. The mill's gone the way for ACCM, which is also way faster than I expected, to be honest. So I think I'd like to see the scouting, but I don't think either player knows the other's going archers right now. Hera doesn't see the range. He saw the gold. And ACCM hasn't seen the golds or the range yet either.
Yeah, and the builds these days mean you do the range before the mill usually. Use ACCM with the Feudal Age Scout now, ready to fight the Eagle, and he should be able to kill the Eagle if he can catch it properly. The Scout is stronger in the Feudal Age.
Yeah. Hera's just going to trade the HP there. It'll be very close, actually, but the Scout should always win that. And that's always good for ACCM, just to have that vision. Especially because Hera doesn't know exactly like how the walls are shaping up for ACCM, or even where the archer range is.
Yeah, now the scouting that Hera has is the scouting that he's going to have for the next few minutes. ACCM will be playing without Hera knowing exactly what he's doing.
ACCM needs to know, though. He needs to use that Scout, and let's see if Hera has an opportunity to snipe it.
And here we're seeing the weakness of the Maya, that you lose that Eagle in the Feudal Age to the Scout.
And he's going to look. He should check to the left of it. He sees the archer range. No flag. No flag means Hera probably moved out. Maybe some paranoia for ACCM because he's not fully walled on that left-hand side. Even getting Town Watch now.
He's almost fully walled, though. The Jaguar going to slow Hera down.
Yeah, Hera backs away here.
That's what I like about the Predators on the maps. Since like I add them to the maps, I'm like, I'm fighting Hera right now.
I could tell you Hera didn't enjoy that. I guess it's pretty accurate if you actually would fight Hera. You'd die very quickly, like the Predator.
I think anyone would die to a Jaguar pretty quickly.
Okay. Well, there's another one. Well, Hera just backed off here for a second. Again, his walls keep his wood and his gold safe, and he built the blacksmith and archer range in front of the berries just to have a little bit more awareness. But ACCM researched Town Watch because of the paranoia. Where are his archers right now?
Is he even moving now? Oh, yeah, he's just defending. He's just defending. He's pulling his vills to the safe side of the mill, using his archers. Can he micro here? He doesn't have fletching just yet.
Yeah, Hera will actually be very happy to see this. He probably won't get too many kills here, but he's maybe paranoid that he would get pressured at home. And fletching being late for ACCM, kind of the reason he couldn't be in position. Also, the scouting could have arguably been a little bit better, but the micro, so good. And so clean.
I feel that the Tatars really want to be aggressive on this map to take advantage of the hills. If Hera's fighting and ACCM is downhill, then ACCM is simply foregoing the Tatars hill bonus.
He got some good hits there, man. I mean, he's got 6 archers versus 4. Hera's going to add a bit more, but like that's not bad at all. And it's all about getting to Castle Age now, which of course you need farms for. ACCM just kind of caught patrolling there.
What I don't like is archer versus archer for ACCM, though. Hera's micro is so good.
Yeah, I think, but if you have the hill like you said, you're probably feeling pretty comfortable, even if you're down in numbers. Hera moving forward confidently. He's got some weak units, though. ACCM, I love the hesitation there. That was actually really nice micro from ACCM.
Great micro from ACCM on the hill. Hera's pushed back. He has to deal with another Jaguar. And ACCM, he doesn't have as many archers, but he's still managing to hold the hill.
Interesting. Horse Collar is just one of those upgrades that I never see players get in Archer Wars because you want... Like, you just need to get to Castle Age, and then you don't really need farms. I'm very surprised by that. And also surprised that he wasn't able to back away, and now Hera's numbers are going to start to climb very clean here from Hera.
That's what you want as a Maya. It's a numbers game, and you want your numbers as high as you can get them with the cheap archers.
And if you had skirms in this position, you have to kill the archers, T-West. If you do not kill the archers, you're staying in Feudal Age by spending so much food, and then they're just going to reach Castle Age and get to Eagles or Siege. So it's so important that ACCM keeps Hera active on the map and clears this up.
And it feels like the Tatars have maybe the stronger units by going Cav Archers, maybe even Step Lancers, but it's much harder to get to them than it is for Hera to get to those big, massive archers into crossbows.
Well, yeah, and that's why Hera played such a cool, calm approach, right? He has the villager lead, he has the better economic civ, so he's going to play towards that. And ACCM just kind of played very reactive here, really for the first time this series. And it's just not looking good. There's no other way to say it. Hera is just clearing this up, no problem.
And this was also the very first home map and first home civ, or first civ pick for Hera. So something that, if he's going to feel comfortable somewhere, it's here.
So let's see. If Hera sees one skirm, honestly, I mean, one skirm's no problem, but that should tell him that he needs to back off because there's likely to be more. I'm very surprised. Surprised we saw late Horse Collar. Surprised we saw like one range opening with Tatars. I think ACCM just lacked faith in himself. He tried to do something different, but it didn't really give him many opportunities so far. Here we go, though.
Here are the skirms, and look at Hera's resources. He's up to the Castle Leaf soon. This is not even a fight that's that great for ACCM. He doesn't have the skirm numbers to take it. The hill's important, but skirm's going down to the archer mass.
Yeah, Hera does the right thing here. You get close. You get a couple volleys in where the skirms can't fire with their minimum range, and now you just got to back off. Hera will mix in an eagle out of the barracks, and he didn't lose too many at all, and it's super easy to replace those, so yeah, well played from Hera.
Yeah, and Hera's up to the Castle Age 2. There's the market now for ACCM after Hera already clicked up, and ACCM can buy his way up, but it's going to be so much slower.
You know what you really need it here if you're Hera? Not just a win. You just need like a boring game, right? Like the first two games are crazy, oh, chaotic, crowd's going crazy. You just need to be like, no. I'm just gonna smash, and we're just gonna play a cool, calm, collected game. You get one win back, and you get that feeling of dominance back. This has been just the perfect bounce back moment for Hera. It may be a bit early; it's not over yet, but like with Hera almost in Castle Age and ACCM still not having clicked with less army, it's going to be very dangerous.
And what do the Tatars do once they get up, when they see this big, massive crossbow win from Hera? Is this simply a situation ACCM does more skirms and somehow tries to take a fight?
You have to. Yeah, skirm is your only option now. You're hard committed to it. You hope to get enough skirms and trade. Hera will probably mix in some eagles or some siege, and then you would want to go with some reaction to that as well. It's just, unfortunately at this stage, you're in full react mode if you're ACCM with Hera's uptime.
Yeah, and ACCM doesn't even have his berries. His food eco has not been great. And Hera can just camp there, keep ACCM downhill, and do whatever he wants now. He can even go forward for a workshop. He can do eagles. He can do the crossbow upgrades. Do you think Hera could even like play it safe and just add a TC behind this pressure?
I think he could do a lot. Yep. I'm curious on what direction Hera's going to attack. I actually feel as though he should maybe attack from the left side because that's where the gold and that's where the wood is. If you look back to Hera's scouting in the Dark Age and Feudal Age, I'm pretty sure he knows this, right? Woodline should be on the left, and then he also could see the gold. Yeah, so that's where I expect Hera to pressure from. I think he's making his way over there now.
Looks like he's going to do the workshop in the middle. We have the Vil coming forward. He already fought the Jaguar, so we know it's safe for the Vil. And he's just going to annoy those Palisades. Might even push the Feudal Age skirms with the crossbows if he's confident in his micro, which I'm sure Hera of all players is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really the biggest problem, right? Like, ACCM has to get in close. You get in close, you'll take losses. And ACCM drops some houses and a stone while he knows he needs to hold. I think he does have a market, which when you're getting pressured is really good to balance out your res here. So it gives him some chances. If he can get to Elite Skirm, get to his own siege, this can still turn around for him.
All of his farms were idled there, though. Hera's so far ahead in resources right now and still fighting with the crossbows before the upgrades come in.
Yeah, Hera will boom as well behind. This is the land map that Hera needs to play, right? This is what I said, like, Topui isn't. Hera gets a map like this, he's got everything within his control. He could have plenty of space against any early aggro.
It feels like the perfect Hera map, that it's open, but you're not close. So he has time to do exactly what he wants.
It's open, but it's like a fight to see who walls faster, a fight to see who macros a little bit better. Like, that's the type of map that Hera dominates on. And I like the patience here from Hera. I'm assuming he's going to be patient. I think now he just says, okay, he's really up against it. He can't boom. I'm just going to take down the archer ranges here.
Yeah, and that's great. He has the hill for the Mangonel. He doesn't need to push. He knows he's ahead in eco. He knows he's ahead in military count. And he knows that, yeah, ACCM can camp with the skirms, but he can't move out and counterattack.
Yeah, skirms are just so awkward. mean, you could maybe go defensive Siege Workshop if you're ACCM, and then counterattack with the skirms, because there's no mangonels at home. That's the only thing that I can think of right now. I actually think he needs a defensive Siege Workshop, and maybe he does have one, actually.
It feels like he needs one, but at the same time, there it is, but that's slowing down your boom. And whatever you do, it feels like Hera is already ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, like, if you think about it, one mangonel can potentially defend from the crossbows and the mangonels. And the skirms don't necessarily add anything there. So, like, it seems weird, but I think I would like to see the skirmishers from ACCM actually attempt to go forward and just take a risk here, because otherwise this is turning around really, really fast.
And that's a good point. Maybe all you need is a risk, because if you don't take risks, then it feels like you're kind of dead.
Yep. Yeah, he's got the mangonels positioning here. Hera, 2 TCs. We'll have the third behind. Lead is going to continue to grow. We know that. But it does get a little bit harder to manage your micro when you're also expanding how much economy you're managing.
And great micro from Hera. There's a mangonel. It's 4 mangonels to 1 right now. This is a great push from Hera.
Yeah, and Hera knows he can lose a couple mangonels, but he still refuses to lose them. Is he going to lose one? He will, but he'll take one as well, and he just backs away. Now he's taking another archer range, so pretty soon, no additional skirm production for ACCM.
And if ACCM doesn't have a mangonel, he can't defend. He only has skirms, but Hera can move forward with the mangonels, put them in front of the crossbows, and you get the eagles too.
Yeah, it's just so tough for ACCM, dude. This whole game has just not been his game, right? Like, they both kind of did the same thing, but Hera had the better civ for it, and Hera's just outplayed him, and that's what the best players want. They want the opponent to try the same build, right? And usually they're going to out-execute. Maybe game 1 is an example of that not being the case.
This is an example of Hera playing exactly the game he wants, on exactly the map he wants, on exactly the civ he wants, and having every single thing go his way.
Just dominance. Just dominance. Give no opportunities to the opponent and take no risks, right? So Hera knows the longer this position stays, the more guaranteed he is of victory. He's not going to dive. He's not going to do anything, but just push this town center right now. And ACCM needs a big shot now, or the TC's going to go down.
And he needs a big shot. That's 1 versus 5 mangonels. He needs more than a big shot. He needs 5 big shots. He needs to clear all of them to keep his repairs. And he's trying to use the skirms, but he's hopping in and out of the TC with so many mangonel shots. Keeps his mangonel alive just for the moment and gets another one.
That's so tough, though. I think that one can be focused down by the crossbows. It almost is. Hera loses one, but Hera can dive and take the other one with the crossbows, no problem. And he takes the mangonel as well.
Both.
And with that, the skirms are going to come out, but the skirms are going to die, and the TC is going to go down as well, and Hera knows it.
He's going to kill all the vills. There's the GG from ACCM. And that's about as clean a game from Hera as we're going to see.
Exactly. Like, this is the beauty of having a career where you have come back before, right? This is the beauty of losing games and turning it around before, right? It's not a place that Hera hasn't been in before. And I loved how he went comfort pick, comfort map, #1 civ to bounce back. He reminds ACCM, like, hey, I'm actually in really good shape today, despite your first 2 wins. And now for the first time in the series, we're actually going to get to see ACCM choose his side of the maps, and we get to see how Hera's going to manage that there. Guys, there was so much energy in here. There was so much hype, all deservedly so. But Hera can turn this around and make it a 2-2 very, very quickly. He goes for one of his best civs, one of the best civs in the game, one of the best civs on this map, in my opinion, in the in the Portuguese. And ACCM on the other side going for a newer civilization in the Muisca.
Ooh, and the Muisca, we saw them work very well against the Wu and the Fire Archers earlier on. Not quite the same matchup. Organ Guns won't have that weakness to the Guetra Warriors. That's actually the unique unit matchup I haven't seen so far, but I imagine the Organ Guns would be pretty good there.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking this through, I think the #1 thing that players are thinking about is the unique units. Organ Guns, pretty damn strong, dude. It's a really tough unit when you have some eco to back it up. So I think priority #1 for Hera is to defend on water, so you have the economy and the fish, and then maybe organs. For ACCM, it's like, I mean, your Civ does have really good monks here, right? But monks are really hard to control when you also have the water. So I don't love monks long term. I don't know about the Guecha Warriors. I just truthfully haven't seen the matchup against organs, but I think organs would beat them too. So I prefer the matchup for Hera. I think Portuguese are just too solid.
And do you think Hera and Leary might practice together and probably have some experience? We saw like Leary against Yo and the Portuguese in the previous matchup of like practicing with or practicing against Portuguese.
I think so. And I also think that Hera isn't going to fear Muisca to the same level as other civs because they don't have as many options, right? So like, because Muisca can't go like light cap approach, right? That eliminates some strategies. I think that most people are going to feel like champies are just kind of a non-starter. So it really, Hera's got a lot of time to think about what he's going to be up against. And if I were Hera, I would think, I have the better civ, so let's just win water first, and then we get a defensive castle down. That's where my brain would be.
And also on the water, Hera has the extra HP on his ships, along with a gold discount for the ships too. So I think the Portuguese clearly would be the better water civ, as long as you don't get too distracted, maybe losing land where you get pushed off of water if you're not paying attention, or if you just have to mismanage your eco in your ship production.
Now, there was a game with the Muisca. This is, I think, the most dangerous thing, right? There's a game with the Muisca where a player went super fast pressure, monks, but then you can also produce the temple guards from the monasteries. And the temple guard is 100 HP, it's got 12 base attack, it's melee, so it protects from scouts, right? I think Hera going scouts would be incredibly foolish here because you can be ram pushed with temple guards and monks. I saw his teammate Hart die to it. Sorry for bringing it up. He's our analyst here. He's very smart. And it's just, I think Hera should know, but that's the number one thing I'm thinking about actually from ACCM is like big monks and temple guarded ram pressure through the middle.
One of the things that makes it tricky though is the champy, once you get to the feudal age, gets killed by the scout, and it's hard to know if you're going forward. What are you going forward into?
Yeah. Well, I think you take a little bit of a risk, right? And that risk is going to entail running into the darkness with some vills. It's unlikely Hera will be out there. Hera's going to send some vills to wood right now. And Hera's up very quickly, a bit faster than we've seen. So it seems like Hera's just going to play Navy for the time being and adapt from there.
And right now, I don't see any build going forward for Hera for those forward docks like we've seen in the past. Sometimes we've seen the players do the double forward docks with the early pressure on water. ACCM might take a fast castle approach. It feels like we see feudal water more than fast castling recently on this map, but I think a fast castle approach still can work.
It's guessing games, but if ACCM goes Temple Guard Ram, I think Hera's going to be fighting on water, and I think while he might kill some fishing ships, he might not be ready for Temple Guard Ram. I'm telling you, this opening from Hera opens him up to something, but there's got to be really critical timings for ACCM.
Yeah, there's more docks for Hera. He's going for the fishing eco. Do you really think the monk approach is the best one here?
Well, Temple Guards I do. I think you can go like 1 or 2 Temple Guards with rams. The golds and stones are always on the front. This is definitely a fast castle from ACCM. Like, he's adding so many fish.
100% a fast castle. And the Portuguese, I mean, if you have a really long game against monks, they do also have heresy in their tech tree. And also, just looking at this, because his scout's in the middle, that'll also help heresy.
Okay, so I was double checking. We had 4 fishing ships in queue from ACCM. He didn't cancel them. This was not part of his plan. So he sees Hera go feudal, and much like that game he played against Tato where the siege tower bugged, he is adapting his game plan because he knows Hera's feudal time must mean some type of navy. So he's actually going to slow down whatever build he had, mix in some defensive ships, but he has to choose the correct ship here. I would probably just make some Hawks here, and if you make Hawks against the galleys, maybe you have some issues.
Oh, he's opening the gate to fight the scout. That is awful. He's letting the scout in. He's going to lose the champy. And Hera can just go out. The gate will be open.
There are things that are just simply unacceptable. Letting Hera into your base here could be very, very dangerous. But he didn't lose his champy.
He didn't lose it. And now it's walled out from this. Now he can scout the middle.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Hera's going to take that invitation.
Does he click loom as soon as he's up?
Maybe.
Because the scout's in. He needs to protect his vills.
I always convince myself I'm never going to lose a Vill because the Scout's weak, and then like 2 minutes later, I lose a Vill.
Is ACCM convinced?
So there's the market. So Hera's like, oh, okay, he's going fast castle. That's good. But he doesn't... How many docks did Hera see? That's really critical here. I think he didn't see them. He saw 2, he didn't see 3. Yeah, so Hera will think that it's just fast castle with no defensive boats, and he'll find out in a second that might not be the case.
Yeah, but he'll scout the fish. Oh, and the galleys will get right in, but galleys are not that good at destroying fish.
No loom on those vills.
No loom on the vills.
So easy to forget that.
2 vills there on the fish, killed by galleys and the scout.
Yeah, I think those vills probably die regardless, to be honest with you, just because the galleys are always going to be there. But the scout being there certainly didn't hurt, and Hera's got to be happy with his opening so far. Lots of early pressure and initiative.
And the scout even hitting the fish.
Yeah, she's being annoying, right? It's so frustrating. It's also really difficult to get fishing chips back to work at times, so...
And ACCM's up to the Castle Age, and I don't think he clicked Loom before going up to the Castle Age. That's just even riskier with the Scout still in your base.
Well, I mean, I guess the logic is, well, I lost 2 Vils already. If I research Loom, I'm down a third. So we just go no Loom here. But he doesn't want to go too far. Hera's got a very big Navy count, and you can just tell the pressure from Hera is mounting here. And ACCM, you can feel it as well. Hera's got that one extra step on him right now.
And that scout just in the base, but ACCM was healing the Champy. Hera adding a stable.
Yep.
So this is just scouts anticipating maybe that Monk Rush. The healed Champy is not enough.
Oh, dude, he tried to... The healing is so slow inside the TC, and he really thought that he could heal it up and then kill the scout, but he loses it anyways.
The Champy's just so weak.
Yeah, Hera's just on top of it. And look at the resources as well from Hera, right? This is calculated. He's gone for some Navy. He still has a dock behind adding fish. It's actually very complicated to make this work. And the weakness would be that his opponent could push the middle, but his opponent can't go to the middle freely right now because of no scouting. And Hera, well, he's not going to see it anyways.
Yeah, freely in the middle is ACCM. He's 30 seconds away from the Castle Age. Hera doesn't have a scout in the queue, so he won't spot it.
So I think you need to get warships because you can't lose water. And I think you also need to go Monastery Siege Workshop, and it's hard to do that all at once. So let's see. Hera's going to go Blacksmith.
ACCM still has stone that he could sell if he needs to rebalance his economy. Hera with the gate will be able to have vision of those Vils.
There's the warships upgrade. Is he walling in front?
What? He's walling inside the diagonal gate with the monastery.
Build through the diagonal walls, and he knows that. That is part of the strategy. He can start sending temple guards in through the wall.
There's no way Hera expected this. There's no way Hera knew about this.
And
ACCM getting some revenge for that siege tower that didn't work. Now he knows he can go through the gate.
Guys, ACCM read the handbook 16 different times on the flight over here, I'm sure, right? He's known this is possible, and he's like, is it allowed? Is it referenced? There was nothing in this multi-page handbook, I'm sure, and he is going to try and send units. I mean, that's so rough for Hera, right? Because now the military units can just funnel in, but he's just building the great house wall over here. So far, units haven't made it through.
Those houses don't have much HP on them. That's so much wood to spend on the houses, too, if you're Hera. That's going to mess up your economy.
It is, and he has to focus on water right now as well. So the additional scout in the middle is a problem. There will probably be a ram eventually to take down this wall. It's still a winnable game from Hera, but that's crazy. Like, that is unbelievable. That is taking advantage of the patch or the, the game.
Yeah, that's just how diagonal gates work. I would be
real frustrated right now from Hera because that's like not really intended, right? And it feels exploity-ish, right? But he knows, he hasn't paused, he hasn't asked anyone. He knows that ACCM found something tricky, and he's going to have to stop it now.
He's leaving the ram unprotected. If he's inside, he can't protect the ram. If he's inside, he can't protect the ram. It's backfiring on ACCM.
Oh, no, this is the downside. Oh, that's so good from Hera, though. I mean, I loved adding the scouts regardless, but adding the scouts and getting the value here is huge. Yeah, it's completely wasted Siege Workshop because you can't get units there.
Is this actually a good strat if Hera reacts to it properly?
I think with Hera reacting to it, maybe not, but there's still the Navy to worry about on this map, and we can't forget that. There's also town centers that can be added. ACCM's dropping TC number 2. Hera's fishing ships for now are protected, but there's 13 fishing ships for ACCM.
And if ACCM starts adding monks, then he has the weird situation where the monks are inside Hera's walls, and if he wants to use Lightcap to snipe monks, he would need to delete something.
I think, like, Hera's convincing himself that ACCM is all in, and that
there's the gate there to snipe with Lightcap if he wants to.
But, like, ACCM's gonna boom near T-West. He's adding eco, he's actually adding a siege tower, but wait, bro, you can't, like...
He can siege tower the other side. Wait, he's in. He converted a Vil. He wants to quick wall with that villager.
If he builds a monastery, he can make another church in there. What is happening?
I don't know what ACCM's doing. His monk gets sniped off. Hera can use the gate.
I mean, the siege tower can't you can't get there, bro.
Oh, unless you delete the house and go from the diagonal?
No, you can't get back, right?
Trust me, ACCM must have practiced for 10 hours with siege towers after that last game. He has learned everything there is to learn about the siege tower.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, because I thought you could never get your units back.
But over a diagonal, you can.
Well, it was really sad for ACCM when he got screwed by the siege tower before, but clearly that led to him learning a couple things over the last, 48 hours. It's crazy.
He'll lose with the siege tower in the group stage if it means he wins the playoffs. And looks like Hera's taking a great fight on the water.
Yeah, it's huge.
And he should win the water now. But, I mean, ACCM, he's had enough time on the water to get his land eco going with the TCs.
So normally, I wouldn't say you want to eject here, but if there's a diagonal gate, I think you can do that and get back.
And now he can ram through the wall and get inside again. ACCM is starting to add vills to stone. He might be thinking of getting positioned for a castle chop eventually.
Here's the thing. This is all really exciting. The siege tower, the ram, the wall, the gate, whatever. Exciting for everyone but the devs and the admins. But the gold is still there for Hera. He hasn't lost his gold. He doesn't need a stone because he's taking another stone. And Hera could have a free fish boom. So I think, like...
Can ACCM eject diagonally over the houses somehow?
That would be a new one. I don't think you can eject over houses.
Think if you place like your own wall foundation, I think you can. You can
TUS
eject
is doing
over
the
your
math.
own wall.
We got action on water on both sides. Siege tower is trying to eject, but it can't eject over the house. Fishing ships could go down here for ACCM. That's a big portion of his eco lead. Hera builds a gate there. Actually cannot siege tower over an enemy. Well, actually, I guess you can go over the enemy gate. I don't actually know, to be honest.
You can't go over the gate.
But he did, though, with the diagonal, so
well,
it's a different type of...
Well, that's a different... He didn't go over the gate. He garrisoned. He didn't ungarrison.
I see. Did Hera lose fish in the north? Because if he didn't, he's about to have full water control. It looks like he's about to have full water control, but maybe not. There's some fires here from ACCM.
Even more important than the water, though, I think 52 actual villagers to 46 vills, and ACCM is starting to get a land eco lead, too, not just on the water.
Hera not having Bodkin arrow is such a big deal here. I don't think he realizes because he's so focused. Like, he's got primarily war galleys with no Bodkin. So this semifinal has showed you even the very best players just put under so much pressure, they will miss a couple technologies. It can make a big difference.
This is why I love Coast Arena so much. It gives us these absolutely insane games. Here's ACCM coming back to... I don't think you put the monks in the siege tower, but he's just going to run that around and chill with it.
Okay, so he researched Atonement already, so he can convert Hera's monks. He's getting Redemption now, so he can convert Hera's siege. And he has the temple guards in the siege tower to protect from the scouts. ACCM's moment is coming now, T-West. The vills are going to be moving out any second, and he is going to try and take Hera off the gold and the stone where that TC is. I guarantee it. The vills have got to be moving. ACCM would never wait. There they are.
There he goes. And if Hera has monks, ACCM can hop in and out of the siege tower to break the conversions. Oh, this is such a good castle job from ACCM.
But he has to see all the siege. He has to see all the siege. The outpost is critical because the siege could snipe a castle foundation. Things could go very wrong. Or very right. And Hera may react with his own castle, and there's no siege.
If he hops inside, he can stop siege, though.
I actually would have loved a more aggressive castle, to be honest. But it is going to go up.
I think it's good enough. I think it's good enough. It hits the gold, it hits the stone, and he's still fighting on water. He still has some fires down there fighting the war galleys.
Absolutely, and he might push back and kill Hera's fish. I think Hera's looking in the north. Hera goes there. Hera loses some siege. He loses some monks. He loses some scouts. This is horrible for Hera as he's building a counter castle, but wait! Hera has more vills.
But ACCM has a siege tower. If he can just annoy those vills and get his own castle up, he's okay.
Temple guards are out. Hera needs to focus down the vills. ACCM needs to finish this. He needs to finish this fast. It's not going to be enough. He needs more vills now. I've done the math. It's not going to be enough. It's denied. And organ guns can come out of the castle now.
97.45%, and Hera denies the castle, but more vills are coming forward. He can use the siege tower to get the castle up.
Hera needs to wall on the other side of it, or otherwise that castle's going up. He's coming with vills. It's going to be too late.
The castle's going to go up. The castle will go up. And we can see petards and rams now.
Yeah, I think going for rams immediately is the play, and the siege workshop's already up for ACCM, and it's not for Hera. Also, Hera can't really take golds right now. So yeah, tough situation for Hera. There's 4 relics for ACCM. There's 2 TCs for ACCM. His eco hasn't been taken out. So he's doing a good job, and he's also outposting the right side. So if he sees anything from Hera, he's going to see that he's exposed there.
And this entire game, he has 2,000 res collected more than Hera. His eco is in the right spot. And looking at ACCM's resources, he's going to go up to Imp. It's risky if he maybe dies to a full-on Castle Age push on his castle. But if he gets Trebs, I think he just wins the game.
What ACCM is doing today is truly incredible. So often you can find one or two things to surprise Hera, but Hera will stabilize. ACCM has found the 5th, the 6th, the 7th adaptation, right? And you're just not used to that being possible, right? How he's been able to stabilize this game, how he's been able to find the moments in this game is truly incredible. And yeah, good luck. Temple Guards are out, Hera, and you're going to lose villagers there.
Here comes a Mangonel. That Mangonel is scary for the Rams, but not for the Temple Guards. If Phils are fighting the Rams, they're not protecting the Mangonel. They're not in the TC.
You got to get back in the tower. Gets back in the tower. Tower goes down. Hera keeping it up for now. Hera holding on. Hera doesn't know his opponent's on the way to the Imperial Age. He is holding again. This could have killed him. He's still in this game.
That's a ton of idle time, though, on all those vills who are fighting and repairing and just trying to stay alive. And that's getting ACCM closer and closer to Imp, closer and closer to Trebs.
He's going to hold this, though. Like, it's incredible. He converts the only one that was healthy there, so he'll clear that. This is now access to stone. He has one Organ Gun protecting. He's pressuring on water. Like, there's a lot of good things to say about Hera's position, despite all the pressure he's taking. But you're right. How does Hera deal with Trebs? He has to take down the castle.
He has to take down the castle, and then ACCM can also just make a safer castle if he wants to.
Yeah.
Oh, does Hera go for an aggressive castle with all that stone?
I think the castle is getting petarded down, though. Like, that castle is low HP, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. He might not make many Trebs.
He needs to find a way to get some type of advantage from the Imperial Age. He's doing Bodkin now, but his push is kind of stalled out.
Yeah, it is. And he's pushed off the stone here as well. Oh, man. Hera, he was not expecting this type of series. I think people looked at the bracket just because ACCM and Yo started so slowly this tournament. Everyone was like, oh man, they barely made it through to the final stages. They're going to have problems, but Hera has problems there. Deletes 2 Mangonels. That's worth it for ACCM.
Castle's there. Will he get a trap? More petards from Hera just to stop the Trebs. And ACCM is up 3-1.
Dude, we have called ACCM the chef for years. And it feels like his restaurant is finally in business right now.
It feels like some justice after that failed siege tower earlier on, too.
Whew. True. All right, well, round 3 of trying to play this map. We have seen instances now twice where the Boars have somehow captured the scouts. So we'll have to direct our attentions there. Bohemian's way, yet again, ACCM 1 win away from going to the finals here.
1 win away?
1 win away, and he's against the way. But okay, so Hera's able to block.
Okay, this is looking like it should look.
That's fine.
We created a map, and why are we having problems with the boards? Because the players want to move them from their side base to their center base, because you don't have much food there, and you're like, okay, I want to make my vills useful. How do I split my vills between 3 of the bases when they start out separated?
I think we're good here, but I think ACCM's going to get housed, which is... Oh, no, he's not. Never mind. False alarm. He built a house somewhere else. And yeah, they got to recenter themselves, right? Like, restarting the game a couple times after they took their break. For me, if I have any type of interruption, I can really lose focus. So we'll see if they can lock back in here. But we talked about it. Wei can get the eco upgrades. This map still can play Feudal Age. Hera can play Scouts and Archers pretty freely here. I really like his Civ.
Yeah, and when we see this focus on pushing the deer, taking the javelinas, it can sometimes shift your early walls onto the food area, where that feels a little bit better defended, when long-term it's usually the gold and the stone that matters more.
So I want to ask you about that. We see a food section here for Hera, right? And then his gold and stone sections on the other side. Opposite of Hera's food section is the golden stone for ACCM. Is that always fixed?
Yep, that should always be fixed.
Okay.
And the key to the golden stone is there's also gold inside the middle of the map, which is kind of risky. There's gold on the outside of the map where there's a lot of rock terrain and you can't wall. That's kind of hard to defend. And if you lose your gold base, now you have to move all around the map. You don't have any gold near your TC. You don't have any gold in that food area.
Well, if that's fixed, then Hera knows exactly where he needs to pressure. And I would assume he's going to put a lot of his pressure on the stone and gold. Bohemian's only real eco bonus free gold mining and stone mining upgrades. So, I mean, that's what ACCM is going to be taking advantage of.
Yeah, that's a good point. And if you go to the late game, you start feeling Bohemians are an incredible civ, but the way have a great power spike before that with the free vills from the eco tech, and then just having so many unique units. The Shinbei Raiders, the Tiger Cav, the Huiguang Cav that they can play in the Castle Age.
Yep, so there goes Hera. Could be a fast castle. Highly doubt it, though, with Hera's uptime. He's got a lot of food here. Some people out there are going to say this is delayed. But to everyone who's saying it's delayed, this might actually be for 3 eco technologies because you add a little bit more eco so you can afford the gold mining upgrade, the wood upgrade, and the farm upgrade, and that's plus 3 vills just by going feudal.
And you start with the mill and you start with the mining camp on this map, and you're pretty much always going to build a lumber camp on a wood line anyway, so you're always going to have those 3 eco buildings to click those techs immediately.
Yeah, I want to see his Hera building something. He should be if he's going aggressive.
Is that a barracks? Yep.
I'm ever so slightly surprised that he's building the building here if he wants to pressure the stone and gold, but if he's making scouts, he can get over there pretty quickly anyways. But actually, you don't want to use scouts against the barrels, do you? You probably want to use archers.
And this feels like a very defensive barracks because he's building it by his gold mine. It's not an aggressive one, which you might have built over on the other side of the map near ACCM's Golden Stone.
Yeah. All right, ACCM's uptime, I would assume, is for a fast castle. He's added a few more vills, but Hera's going to have a guaranteed vill lead. Let's see if he gets 3 eco techs. That'd be very satisfying, to be honest.
It absolutely would be. He's maybe missing a tiny bit of wood, but I'm sure we'll see him click them right away. There's double vid axe.
Yep, wood upgrade. It's funny because you don't really feel like you necessarily need horse collar, but you always want the free villager.
Does he go maybe for the mining upgrades first, rather than horse collar? Because he's not going to be seeding farms yet with all the food he has.
I mean, I thought that mining upgrades would just make sense. You got the res for it. So he's gone for a very healthy economic approach, and he's going to send his scout around that side. Interesting. So he wants to maybe attack around the outer area, which ACCM might not expect. Most people go through the middle here.
Now, the barrels have 60 hit points, but you can weaken them without destroying them. And some players like to do that with their scout, weaken the barrels so that when you come by later, you can get that surprise attack and get right in.
Yep. And see if Hera shows himself on the outside there. ACCM will build. See, look where ACCM's expecting the pressure. He's building behind his walls towards the middle, because that's where everyone goes. And Hera is not going that way. At least it doesn't seem like he's going to go that way.
And so far this tournament, we haven't really seen the outside approach. We've seen some armies that get there eventually, but the focus has mainly been in the middle.
Yeah, we still don't know, though. Is that an archer on the outside from Hera? Looks like it is. Yeah, that should tell us something. Oh, man, this is going to be crazy.
ACCM, though, he's doing loom. He is doing loom. And that means if Hera breaks in, he will be able to run the vills better than... Well, we have seen games without loom where people break in and the vills just die.
He has to see it, though, right? Like, you can see the barrels on the wall. So if the barrel's getting attacked, you should see it.
Oh, his vills might take the deer by that barrel.
Okay, hold on. What's the blast radius on this barrel? Because he's building houses.
It is 3.75 tiles for blast radius.
And would it take down a fully built house?
It will not take down a house, and if the house is slightly behind it, it will do some damage to it, but Hera's not going to break in.
Ooh, man, that was fast. Rip to the deer there, but that was fast. Nice reaction from ACCM. That could have been game-ending damage. He's still not on stone or anything. And Hera's still got those extra villagers here, so this is still an issue. 90 seconds where you have no army, and Hera could be through these houses.
And this is a lot of pressure. It's scouts and archers. ACCM might even want to run his vills and re-wall so that his main base is safe. He does not want to let Hera break in here.
Yeah, it makes me feel like he's waiting to build some buildings here, or he's just going to run away. I mean, very little reaction. The archers have fletching. The scouts are taking down the house.
He needs to time this properly. If he runs too late, then the vills die. And he's going to do more buildings, but the archers are there. That's a lot of wood spent on the houses. We talked about that for Hera in Coast Arena. Here it's just the opposite. ACCM is spending the resources on the houses to wall.
I mean, when a player's that patient, I tend to have a lot of faith in them, though. Like, he waited a long time. Blacksmith is cheap. That would otherwise be very costly, so Blacksmith being a bit bigger gives him some more time. He doesn't actually need a second one, so he just needs some of the HP there.
Oh, I've never thought about that, but like the Saracens have the cheap market for quick walling, Bohemians have the quick blacksmith for quick walling.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to have Saracens here, actually. The market's much bigger. Hera's scouts are going to go that way. Maybe pressure on some barrels elsewhere. And now what from ACCM is he's just...
Town center. He's booming.
I mean, these villagers are acting like they don't care.
Well, he can't move out into the middle because he sees Hera has Arby, and it's a risk to move to the outside too. And I see Hera with some blue dots on the other base near the gold and the stone as he's trying to run around with the scouts. He will see the TC with those scouts.
All right, well, I mean, that's a lot of unbuilt houses for ACCM, but he is on the second town center faster, and it will go up. I want to double check the right side for ACCM, though, because I think he's really protected. Yeah, look, he's built in front of the barrels everywhere.
Yeah, he's making sure the barrels don't let Hera inside the base.
I think on the right side, though, one of the palisades would go down, and the units would still get through. Right to the left of the market, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, it's close. It's close. I think that's okay. I think that's within the 3.75 tiles. You're right. It's right on the edge.
Yeah.
We need to judge fractions of tiles now.
I'd be a little bit worried about that. And he should, if he thinks like I'm thinking, he should check. Also, Hera has to be a little careful. He has to go for that barrel. Maybe.
Well, it's weak now. He can destroy it whenever he wants. Yeah, I think he knows if there's a tile between the barrels, they don't both get destroyed at once. And that build goes down from ACCM, leaving it maybe greedily in the food area.
But Hera's not up yet. So, I mean, I know Hera can recoup any vill losses or something. I actually don't know how Hera lost a villager, by the way.
Also, ACCM, he's the Bohemians. His monk tech supply to his villagers, he's doing fervor right now. That means his vills are faster.
Okay, 3 TCs. He's dropping
And
the
more walls.
houses.
Does ACCM want to delete the foundations he made at his first base for a bit more wood? Because he's struggling on wood right now.
You'll never think of it. You'll never think of it. Yes, you probably should, but he's too busy. You're trying to produce vills. It's 2 TCs, excuse me, not 3.
And we have ACCM 4 vills on stone. He might be thinking of a castle on Hussite wagons as Hera's up to the castle age 2 minutes away.
The vills are pretty weak there. You're generally going to need a monk here in a second just to heal up those vills. I think if you show one monk, though, and you start to convert the archers, Hera will actually back off. So that's not too bad. And vill count's even now.
Yeah, a monk defends this, but the relics are in the middle, so as long as Hera's controlling the relics, I think he's happy to back off.
This is what Hera needs, right? He needs initiative. He needs that belief back. He needs that energy back that could lead to him winning 3 straight here to send himself into the final, which, again, is today. So whoever makes it is going to need some crazy energy and stamina.
Also, look at that res collected difference from those extra vills. Already 900, almost 1,000 more resources for the way.
I think Lycav and Archer was still very reasonable for Hera, but the fact that he's got 10 on stone tells me he wants to pressure that area right there.
And there's the 3rd town center, and that's kind of what he needs because he wants to go late as he doesn't get in through that barrel. But it's also maybe what Hera wants to see if he knows the way are strongest in the castle age, if he can upgrade his units and go for a strong castle age push.
Check this out. He's bringing the vills back out here.
Oh, he's re-walling. That's why he didn't delete. He wants to wall.
Yeah. I mean, that's nice because Hera might assume that he can path through there at various points and he won't be able to.
That's always something that's so much easier for us to note when spectating, when it's safe to go re-wall there, and it's a great job for ACCM to pick that up. Oh, there's a castle from Hera. Talking about ACCM on stone. Hera's been on stone. There's the castle. There's husbandry and Bodkin. More range for the castle. He puts a workshop and a monastery behind it. And I think the 3TC boom is exactly what Hera wanted to see with this aggression.
Yeah, it's just so defensive from ACCM. And we've yet to see the strength of the Bohemians. We've yet to see mass monks. We've yet to see the Hussite wagons. And Hera's like, all right, you're going to give me full map control? I'll take it.
No farms for Hera. He's just going forward.
Yeah, I think you got to pull the vills from somewhere. So those villagers are going to end up, maybe new villagers will end up going to the farms.
They got to be careful by that barrel, though. If ACCM ever sneakily destroys that barrel, all those vills are dead.
and you can tell by the look on T-West's face, which viewers can't see, that he would actually love that.
I think everyone would love that. Imagine ACCM gets the finals by destroying that barrel.
Yeah. Well, Hera's going to make a ram. Still 2 monks. But finally a castle from ACCM. And you know, that castle, that does really make Hera think twice about even the ram. And vill lead is still there from ACCM. He's done a great job defending, I'll give him that.
And with a workshop for ACCM, one Mangonel shuts down a ram push for the most part, unless Hera can somehow dive with enough Tiger Cav.
Hera's gonna run into walls and castle everywhere, right? That castle's gonna go up. Yeah, Hera knows it. Hera backs off. Castle from Hera actually kills a villager or 2. Castle's up, though. Castle's in range of each other for one play. Sorry, never mind. For both players.
For both players.
I got excited.
And we see ACCM 56 to 44 Vills. He has the Vill lead, he has the extra town centers, and he'll slowly turn that res collected difference into an advantage for himself if he doesn't have to react too much to the pressure.
Hera's market is going to be needed a lot right now because he moved those Vills off food, he then corrected that, he's still got the forward Vills on gold.
Stone walls for ACCM.
Yeah, there's just a lot that he's going to have to balance out. And now there's a question on how do you counter the Hussite wagons. The answer is just 1 or 2 mangonels. It's actually not that big of a problem for Hera.
I think ACCM might need his own mangonels if he's going stone walls against the ram push. Castle defense and stone walls, I think he needs mangonels behind it.
I'm really surprised that Hera didn't pressure the stone and gold yet, right? Like, the stone and gold is what the Bohemians need, and that's not where Hera's going at all. Like, Hera's coming over here now.
He's trying to get to the back. Well, here he goes now. That castle, maybe he doesn't need to do it early on, but that's where the second castle for ACCM.
Yeah.
He has the stone, he can mine the stone for the castle.
And that market's going down pretty damn quick. So it's likely more villagers can die for ACCM. He's also going to have to rebuild that market. And his eco has not been as efficient as Hera's with all this pressure.
Well, he'll get the castle up. There's no way that stops. And Hera's not going to be able to pressure the gold and the stone from the front or from the back now. The castle defends it. I think ACCM is starting to pull ahead with those castles and now getting the Hussite wagons.
Yep. Hera's going to have to pull mangonels to both sides, it seems. Have you ever seen Tiger Cab against Hussite wagons? Because I haven't.
I don't think I have. And I think the Hussite wagons have a pretty high attack against the strength of the Tiger Cab is their pierce armor against archer units. But if they're fighting the Hussite wagons, maybe the Hussite wagons will be okay. Yeah, 10 attacks that should punch through the 6 armor of the Tiger Cab.
And we'll see. Hera's going to try it out. I think in Hera's mind, he's thinking Hussite wagon's a ranged unit. Tiger Cab should be good against ranged units, but I don't, because it's gunpowder, I don't think it operates in the way he's
ACCM
thinking.
shoot the barrels if the crossbows are near them. He's got to keep that in mind too.
Hera can keep it in mind as well. You might want to pre-shoot them and just get rid of them if you're Hera so you don't make any big mistakes.
Honestly, I would have done that to that barrel before mining the gold if I were Hera. You just shoot it once with the castle and it should be gone.
Yeah. Well, you've got Vills on the outside there to pay attention to. Villager lead for ACCM. Score lead, he's got in the series 3-1.
It's crazy that Hera's score is so far ahead right now.
Well, he has a lot of techs. Like those blacksmith techs, those eco techs, they really add to the score.
And he has 4 relics now, the 3 from the middle and 1 from the outside. And we saw ACCM had to go to the outside for extra gold because Hera has all the gold in the middle.
There's the barrels. Reminder again, you're going to see the walls go down. And now the units can get in. Hera's got rams, and he's going to make a move for a castle, and I think ACCM has gotten far too comfortable staring at that siege workshop with the flag. He doesn't realize how many siege weapons are in there.
Hera's going to lose some Vills here. He's trying to run, but here comes the ram push. No mangonels for ACCM, and the rams will be covered by the castle fire. I think Hera gets that castle, but at the same time, he's losing a ton of Vills to the Hussite wagons.
I mean, Tiger Cab are going to come in, and there are some monks around too, so the monks could maybe get conversions. The monks have to retarget. If Hera takes this castle down, there's a lot of free real estate back here. You're right, the rams, just so many of them, and there's not enough of a response. Hera's going to even bring all his Vills to repair the rams. What can ACCM do here?
There aren't enough Hussite wagons. The Tiger Cab can go and just melee them down. Hera's prioritizing the monks. What is ACCM doing there with his Vills? They're dancing. He's doing another town center.
He's just gotten completely punished for no military this game, right? And the Tiger Cab are good enough against the Hussite wagons, especially when you can't produce more of them. And Hera says, I'm not finished yet. I'm going to keep pushing, and I will eat all your town centers.
He will push with the rams. He'll push with the Tiger Cab. ACCM without the monastery now has nothing to answer the Tiger Cab.
It's too much damage. He's done way too much damage for ACCM to ever stabilize. The Vill count's even, but like, ACCM's eco is a mess. Hera's we haven't even looked at this game.
I mean, we haven't needed to. Everything's been nice and clean for Hera. He just pumps out Vills, and now he's gonna even maybe pull ahead of ACCM and Vills. ACCM's been booming this entire time, but he's lost 14 villagers.
Hera could swing this pressure to the other castle. I mean, that whole town area has a little bit of a heads up.
side.
Yeah, just go to the right now. The Hussite wagons are on the left. And, I mean, ACCM fully within his rights to hold on. The Vill count's still looking good, but he needs military right now. And I don't know if Hussite Wagon is good enough.
And he lost his market in that push earlier on the right, and he's floating so much gold now, he needs to build another market before he can rebalance the eco.
Ooh, Hera engaging.
Ooh, the monks need conversions here. He needs conversions.
That's only 2.
That's not enough.
I think he could have had all 4 or 5 there. It's a fight that needed to go better for him. Hera will be very happy with that trade.
He'll be ecstatic to see that. He'll destroy the Hussite Wagons and push the TC. ACCM pulling Bills to fight Rams. There are so many Rams.
Yeah, crossbows are here as well. So many idols right now for ACCM. He's still pumping out more Bills. He does have the converted Tiger Cab in there, so that's helping.
Are the Rams going down?
I mean, they are.
He's repairing the TC. If that TC goes up and the Rams go down, maybe the push stalls. The Rams are so low on HP. ACCM pulled the Bills to fight. He keeps the TC up, and he still has the same number of Bills.
What a fighter, man. What a fighter. I mean, this guy's insane, but still he's lost 27 Bills. He's got 20 idols right now, it feels like.
But remember, he's Bohemians. The Bills are stronger. They're faster and they have more HP if he gets the Monk Techs.
They're not strong enough. This is military versus villager right now, and there's only one thing that wins. And I think the only potential counterattack from ACCM is like whatever that red dot is on the right side of Hera's base. I have no clue what that is. No, it's... Yeah!
It's 2 Hussite Wagons.
There he goes. Like,
well, Hera doesn't really have a way to clean that. Maybe he has to fight with his Bills, but ACCM has another castle. And the Ram push has been stalled out. Remember, those Rams were expensive for Hera, but he made a great decision adding TCs, even in the far right corner, and booming, and now he's up by 20, almost 25 villagers.
Yeah, the town centers for ACCM is looking pretty comical to me on the right. Like, in the north area, it's like all crammed together. He's actually running out of stone and gold there too, and he's gonna need to move around the map.
Now, one of the things that I feel is also very tricky on this map is farming space, because that rock terrain around the outside you can't build on, and if you get pushed out of the middle, you're gonna struggle for your food eco too.
And Hera's food eco has been exceptional here, right? He's got farms everywhere, he's dropping tout centers everywhere.
He deleted his wall, exactly that, he's deleting the walls for farming space.
He's got 4 relics from the middle. He's benefited so much from this push. Even the eco expansion on the very right side, I think it's worth pointing that out. Tiger Cav are going to go in to get kills. We'll see that in a second. But like, Hera's just played a perfect game. And this is what you expect from Hera today. What you expected from Hera was the initiative a bit earlier in the series. But this version of Hera very easily can turn this around and get to the finals still today.
And I think he played the way exactly the way he needed to play them, with the eco into the Castle Age aggression.
Yeah, and for ACCM, I guess the plan was just wait, Hussite Wagons.
I think he relied too much on the castle.
Yeah, maybe a little, maybe like he reacted with his own castle. Maybe he needed his own castle as the proactive move, right? As some type of aggression. But it's so hard to suggest anything because of just how good Hera's played this.
Yeah, and a couple of monks may be looking for more conversions, but the army numbers are simply not there. It's 4-5 military for ACCM, 24 for Hera. With his own monks, he can convert the Tiger Cav back.
Also, can we see the attack stats on these Tiger Cav? This unit is truly insane. Some of these units are going to have like +3, +4, +5 attack because they get additional attack every time they kill a unit. That's before a unique tech, by the way.
As Hera goes up to Imp, this is where we really challenge Vodka, our observer, to click every single unit and try to find which one has gotten the most kills.
Yep, he's mad at you right now. But there we go.
There he goes.
There's a +2. There's a
+2. We got a total of 8 kills. Let's see, do we have more than +2 somewhere?
I think it's just +2.
Oh, +4. There we go. We found one.
Yeah,
there we go. Now that's insane when they get +4 attack.
Yeah, again, no unique tech. Oh. Hera is going to misclick a trade cart. I don't think this is intentional, but showing all pros can make mistakes.
He built his market in the corner. This is intentional. He's going to have a great trade route.
I mean, Hera's like, you diagonally build a monastery on me, I trade with you, bro.
Yeah, it's diagonal trade. He built his first castle to destroy the market on the right base. Yeah. He scouts the market in the corner, and he's trading.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but Hera is going to castle that, and Hera has found the outside eco from ACCM. T-West, I mean, ACCM is going to click to Imp, but Hera is well on his way with a 40 eco lead. It feels impossible for ACCM right now.
It feels impossible, but also he's the Bohemians. I've seen Bohemians do some impossible things.
Yeah, you got to get chemistry right now. You probably need to tech into Halb here. Play Halb and Gunpowder as we see Siege Weapon versus Siege Weapon. Looks like the Hussite Wagon is winning. Tiger Cav raiding.
And they have so much Pierce Armor, you can't stop the raids if you don't have monks.
Yeah, this unit's insane. But also, you need to have a good economy for them, and Hera has had that. And ACCM's University is going to go down, I think, before chemistry as well, so no chemistry upgrade available for him.
And quick walls on the TC in the north. He'll keep that alive. That's clutch not to lose Vils and maybe to get more gold for him.
Yeah. ACCM builds the University. A lot of players would have resigned already. ACCM, even though he's up 3-1, wants to fight. He's going to see Imp from Hera. I then say, okay, I am dead. ACCM plays on.
Hera also has all 5 of the relics.
Yep.
This is as big of an imp advantage as Hera could possibly have hoped for. And if ACCM wins this, it's going to be a Bohemian miracle.
Oh my goodness, dude. I'm so hyped to see the conclusion of this series, and this feels like the next game waiting room right now.
Well, the Vils are speedy. They're running away. He's done handcart. He's done forever. His Vils are so fast right now.
Okay.
But not fast if they run into other Tiger Cap.
Yeah, Hera's like, hello, cuts them off.
They're going to make it to the castle? Almost? Not quite.
Yeah, that's just a feast for Hera. Hera's like, get out of my game, dude. It's not even a 5K score lead. It's over 5,000 score lead for Hera. 10K score, below 5K for ACCM. And Elite Tiger Cap's on the way as well.
Well, ACCM might be thinking it's a 90-minute game. We're not even halfway there.
Yep. Remember, we've got our other finalists waiting for this. There will be a grand final today, so we have a lot of Age of Empires remaining. And there's another castle from Hera. The main thing he needs to finish the game is Siege, and the Traction Trebs are already on the way here.
Now that's the tricky thing, it's Traction Trebs. You won't have normal Trebs, you won't be able to push the buildings that quickly, but ACCM still no military to stop the raids.
Is he gonna call it now? Does he finally admit defeat? He does.
There he goes.
He does.
There's the GG.
Hera, big turnaround game. 3-2 right now for ACCM. Hera needs 2 wins. I've seen Hera win plenty of games in a row, so very realistic in my opinion that Hera could claw this back.
Yeah, as we get into the game, we see immediately ACCM lowering that Javelina over the bridge. The bridge is so crucial on this map because they separate the water into, well, 3 separate pieces. You have the backs, where you could go for a safe fish boom, but no one's done that yet. I wonder if the Malay, if there's any civ you could think about fish booming in the back and maybe ignoring the Byzantine fires early on. This could be a civ matchup where we see it.
It is an option, but if you dock the back to add fish, which sounds creative, you then are not pressuring your opponent's fish on the front, and they can just fish boom on the front with no pressure. So what you want to do here if you're Hera probably, you kill the Byzantines on water, which is hard to do, but doable, and then you have the fish traps with the Malay. So that's where my mind's at on that, but you got to look to the sides here, guys. They're starting lumber camps, are all on their tiny islands. Eventually, they have to move out to some very exposed resources, and that's how this map becomes very complicated.
Yep, they have 3 small woodlands on their starting island and 3 oysters. The oysters let them get gold, but there's only 450 gold per oyster. It's basically having 1.5 normal gold tiles. The rest of the gold is out on the sides, and for the late game in the middle, which I think I've seen the Byzantines focus on controlling the middle with town centers and castles, so they have all that extra gold.
Hera bringing in his scout, just like ACCM did the other day. ACCM brought his scout forward. It's slipping my mind who it was up against, but he killed a villager there on the. That
was against Vinchester.
Against Vinchester.
That was against Vinchester. He killed a Vill, and at the same time, Vinch lost a Vill on the other side because there's a lot you have to lure, and you can't quick wall on the bridges. You can't do your Rage Forest palisades or houses. You actually have to get the Vill across safely.
Yeah. But you take a bit of a gamble, right? And you don't know what side they're going to be on. Well, you know they'll be out there, and you don't know the timing. So Hera did look, immediately realizes he's not going to get lucky. And they're bringing back a lot of food underneath their TC, and here's ACCM as well.
He's looking for the Dockville. I mean, if your scout is there, you can think about maybe denying the second dock too, or at least making it tricky so you're not cleanly putting it down.
Yeah, we'll see if it even will be second dock, right? They have the options, but I think while the mid to late stages of this map are so interesting, it seems like everyone agrees you just got to play Feudal Age Water here. So I would agree with you. I think we are going to see the second dock approach from both of them here.
As they're trying to push in the rest of their hunt. A little bit of food on the starting island, but the key is how much do you focus on winning the water versus going to the sides? Some people focus more on adding maybe an early archery range on the side to try to get some feudal pressure, but it all depends on making sure you scout which side your opponent has gone to.
We need, this is going to sound dumb, but this is a huge game changer on this map. We need a sheep check, or more specifically a capybara check in a second here, because, okay, we've got like 5 additionals there with how many more on the way? Like maybe 3, 4, something like that. Okay, so the total of 9, 10, assuming they get home. Maybe even more. Hera, I think he already collected a bunch too. Like that, for every 100 food you have on each capybara, that is a delayed farm or a delayed fishing ship, which is just so important. It delays you from moving out to the outside, which is where you're exposed, T-West.
Also, a delayed mill. So everything you're delaying, you're saving wood to make more warships to fight over the middle.
Yep. Now, Byzantines have the faster working fires. A lot of players are just going to go fires regardless because of that bonus. But I've seen instances where they go fires and the opponent just opens Hawks and it looks really foolish. So what's the choice here from ACCM and from Hera?
We don't have that big area where you can run away like we did on Fernando in our first game. Here it's very enclosed and you can force fights immediately. I think galleys probably aren't as strong here as we saw earlier. So maybe even opening Hulk and trying to go Hulk Fire could be a composition.
Am I missing something? No barracks from Hera, no second dock. Or are there already 2 docks?
There's one dock.
He has the wood. I'm very surprised.
This might be a situation where he wants to control the outside and he doesn't want to fight Byzantines on water.
Maybe.
He's doing one Hulk against fires from the Byzantines.
But like floating 200 wood is such a big, like such a rare thing for Hera. It's not rare for Hera to try and take a dive underneath a TC.
I think he's just scouting. I think he's just saying, I want to scout and make a decision about how to spend my resources. And he's making a barracks, and he's not building on the sides where ACCM's scouting. He's building on his starting island where he's maybe trying to hide it.
Interesting. ACCM actually scouting the right side right now, which did mean he found more capybaras as well. This should actually tell him, the location of those sheep should tell him Hera's not on that side. That Hera's on the left side. So just because he doesn't know?
Well, that's true. Well, he might lose the sheep, kind of nomad style. You lose the sheep and you figure out where your opponent is if he sees the villas, or the scout might see them. Or if he's paying attention, he sees them.
I don't think he does, though. I think he's looking a lot at his ships right now.
The capybaras are stolen.
He might also not notice that. And a tower from Hera. Ah, now it makes sense. Hera places a tower. It's so funny because I literally just heard the sentence come out of Hera's mouth yesterday. He said, I think towering a dock is something a casual player has as an option, but it's just never an option for a pro.
Does he think of himself then as a casual player? I mean, his streak ended with Warlords. Maybe he doesn't need to be pro anymore.
No,
now he's just casual.
I think he didn't expect me to hear those words and remember those words, but it's a pretty interesting strat, right? Because now the fires can't push the dock. And now Hera's going to go archers on the side. And we know ACCM's just going to want to play defense and water.
That wall's not going up. There's no way that wall goes up. ACCM needs to play a campaign and wall the edge of the bridge.
It's just a difference of focus right now. And ACCM's going water, and Hera is going to go lands. And for now, Hera, he hasn't been able to kill too much on water, but he's got some momentum on land. And I think this makes this game twice as hard for ACCM, especially if he doesn't know which side he can go to with his villagers right now.
Well, this is interesting because Hera's on the top right. ACCM walled the gate on the bottom left. He could just go to the bottom left and rely on the fact there are tons of predator animals in the middle, that it's hard for Hera to get archers across the mangrove shallows leading from one side to the other, at least early on.
Right now, and I haven't seen this situation before, but I think ACCM is misreading because he's going huge water production and he hasn't gone for a barracks yet. So I don't think he's understanding that there's going to be some army here. He's just hoping to wall up. So if he doesn't, if archers do some damage to him, he could have a problem. But it's an unprotected archer. Hera doesn't have the scout. He also doesn't have a spearman there. Oh man, I actually would have killed that archer and run away.
I mean, the scout's there for Hera. You would lose the scout to go for the archer?
I would, because you need time. This scout's kind of useless otherwise. You know there's pressure already. You don't need that information. I'd love to kill that archer. But if you kill Hera's scout, oh man, now he loses the scout anyways.
And he's
gonna lose the Vil. That's the worst case scenario for ACCM.
And he has a barracks. He doesn't have a range yet. That's his first barracks, so he can't add skirms yet. Wait, fires destroy docks. They also destroy towers. Did Hera build that tower too close to the shoreline?
He did. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that is right on the shoreline, not behind the dock. So yeah, goodbye to Hera's defense there. That doesn't last at all, which means he is going to lose the water as the melee.
And he's also going to lose the gold income from the fishing ships now, so he's going to have to spend a bit more wood with mining camps on the outside and mess around his eco in a way he didn't want to.
Oh, wow. Look at the back water area there. We have a
we
potential
have a
dock
dock
from Hera.
That's what I want to see on this map, T90, using the back dock. And I saw this a few times in the qualifiers, but more from the thinking players, like the Dragon Stars who try to go for the silly strats. This is the first time we've really seen it here of a player trying to go for the transport, maybe get the archers through.
If it's been seen enough times, I wonder if this is something that's expected. Also, like, is it even needed right now?
Also, Byzantine's town watch. Free town watch for them. He might just spot it with the houses.
Check this out, though. ACCM is towering the left side when he's been hit with archers on the right side. That tells me that he understands there still could be a potential threat. It's really good preemptive thinking, and yeah, he has his fishing ships alive. Hera does not, and he could even consider adding a few more if he wants to.
And Hera, he has a spear over on the left, so he's scouting. That's going to give him the foresight to know exactly where to send his archers. The question is, does he scout the tower?
It's just like the transport is pretty costly. You only have 3 archers. The forward dock is really cool and gets the people out of their seats, but like...
Look at those deer like running off the edge of the map by that dock, too.
I don't know.
The scout's just scaring them off.
The one isn't as scared as the others.
Yeah, they're just like, Hera's up to the castle age. We're waiting for this transport ship to pop out. And, well, if Hera waits for castle, does he get crossbow, bodkin, and then fight? Does he wait here? Is waiting the play, or is going now the play?
I'm looking at his res, and he would have to spend everything he has. You know, what Hera typically wins this map with is his eco, right? Thank you, Vodka, for, in this very important moment, reminding us of that. The tower for Hera is the most interesting thing to think about right now. The fact that the tower has done nothing for him, and he can't build the second TC, is my worry.
That's a good point. He can't reboom, and the tower for ACCM will do something as Hera comes forward, and now we're relying on ACCM and the Byzantines in that town watch. And once he gets up to the castle age, free town patrol now too. He's going to have a crazy good line of sight on his buildings to spot the archers. Can Hera keep them hidden?
Yeah, look how sneaky he is, actually.
He has
it's
one
crazy.
one tile for the next minute and 20 seconds along the edge of the map.
The cool thing is that's not really luck, because the Spearman has been checking everything as well.
Yep.
So the Spearman actually gave him the info on where he needs to sneak around.
ACCM should see this, and he's building another tower. He's aware of it.
It's interesting, these towers, though, they don't really protect the back of your base because you're expecting the pressure from the fronts. But I think just seeing this is enough to feel somewhat satisfied right now.
Yeah, now Hera also has the option of pressuring on land. He's already on the bottom left. This map is so tricky to figure out where you want to move and where you pressure.
Hera needs to boom now. Yep, I've seen this a million times before. You get a little poke damage, and now you boom. And this is where the Malay shine, right? Because you can hit the timings to Castle Age despite a relatively weak opening, and you can still run with it.
And this is where, if you're the Byzantines, you're thinking, okay, you know the Malay have an insane boom. They get up to the Castle Age so quickly, they add the TCs. What is your focus now as the Byzantines? Do you go army? Do you do your own TCs? Do you think about maybe a fast imp?
Yeah, you go army to clear this as quickly as possible, and then you just get your eco up and running, right? He did spot something. He's got something on the right side here. I think all of his skirms have actually gone to the north.
He's walking Oh yeah, he's moving the skirms out. And also on the bridges, ACCM by Hera's base is also moving around the bridges. He's microing in 2 spots just with his navy. So Hera now, he can't move more vills to the top right. He's kind of stuck there unless he just does the TC in the top right too. And the vills there are found. The vills are found.
So if you're Hera, you want control with initiative, meaning you want ACCM to chase you here. And then if ACCM chases those crossbows, then he backs away and he finds the next option. The last thing Hera was expecting was ACCM to come this way and just ignore those other crossbows. That's actually a really nice call from ACCM.
And is that all of the vills that Hera had in the north right now? Because if you don't have the sneak vills, that takes so much pressure off of ACCM from that side, knowing that there won't be more buildings.
Yeah, but Hera's eco is just going to be insane. And you still have the faster imp, and you still have Hera at the helm here, Hera in control. So I think Hera could gain a very significant eco lead if ACCM doesn't start to drop town centers as well soon.
Yeah, we see ACCM 1,000 more resources collected so far, and I worry that this is another case we've seen so many times in this tournament. The player who wins the water on the hybrid map might overinvest and end up losing the game.
Look at the paranoia as well. Those skirmishers from ACCM, they don't know where to go. They don't have vision. They don't have an understanding on the game. They're like kind of in the north still. They never advanced forward. The dock's there. Hera transports over here, which is a really nice call. And now, if Hera sees the skirms, he can actually just go right back.
He can transport back. He says, ACCM went in and out of my base with a siege tower. I'll go in and out of his base with a transport ship.
Yeah. Hera's booming. Hera fell down 3-1. He's dropping the 4th TC. He's just basically like, come and kill me, ACCM.
And it's so crucial for Hera that he had those Vills over on that side before ACCM completely won the water and blocked off the bridges.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of ran past it. There's a monk from Hera, too. Already has 1 relic. TOS, I have seen this before. Hera is in the driver's seat of this game right now. There's very little eco and map control for ACCM, and the Malay are dangerous. Hera can take us to that 7th game here.
I love this spot from Hera. I think the score is lying to us now because of the water. And ACCM is on 2 TCs while the Civ with the better eco is already ahead in villagers and getting their 3rd TC.
He did lose a monk there, which is a little wasteful if you're Hera, but I don't mind the idea of just trying to keep ACCM busy in as many areas as possible.
So ACCM is coming forward on land. He has to be so careful of those crossbows running into the TC. And some other player would have just walked into the TC there. Hera pulls back immediately.
Yep, and another player would also make a mistake here. Another player also would not have a monk waiting and would lose the Mangonel, but Hera, you would expect to see this, but he clicks
the Monacos there, the deer replacements, the Mangonel goes down, ACCM deletes the Knight, conversion?
It's actually huge. I don't know what percentage this Mangonel is, but if he didn't have another one immediately in queue, the skirms could actually run around.
And ACCM, he's prioritizing the middle of the map. And remember, we talked about the Malay uptiming, but the Byzantines have such a cheap imp, they can get away with booming while raiding and going Castle Age. He's pushing it with skirms.
Man, Hera.
He's pushing with skirms. Hera's losing Vills, he could lose the monk.
He really needed that monk there, and he wasn't able to do it all, and ACCM is going to take some really nice control, and I honestly, Hera locked in so much, I thought there's no way, but suddenly skirms in his base is going to be such a mess for him.
How does he get that conversion? He gets the conversion, hops in the TC, saves the monks. He has a Mangonel on the way, but the ships from ACCM could even help against the Mangonel. Will he take a hit?
Big
he takes
shot.
a big Mangonel hit.
And now he's stuck on the bridge as well. Like, not very easy, and he loses his skirms.
Right on the bridge.
ACCM needed control. He needed to continue to force reactions of some kind. Doesn't get it. 76 Vills against 70. Both players now 4 town centers.
4 TCs, but the Byzantine fast imp is not going to be as fast as the Malay. I don't think this game with Hera's eco. ACCM, yeah, he can raid with skirms, and we have seen skirms do some effective raids, but it's still skirmishers.
Yeah, but here's the situation. Hera has most of his eco in the south. He needs to push the left. He's not actively moving forward right now. And ACCM is going to start to push. So as long as you hold the middle there, it's okay because the fast imp can't kill you. What you cannot do, though, is you cannot lose what seems to be a pretty massive hill. Am I wrong? I feel like the left is this really unnatural elevation we haven't talked about.
There's some elevation on the sides. The skirm is still raiding.
Yeah,
that's a good hill for ACCM. And also, late game, the Malay are good water civ, but also the Byzantines still have those fires, even with the potential for Greek fire, their unique tech.
Oh, ACCM sees the Mangonel. He runs it down.
Castle.
He'll also see the castle from Hera and back away.
And also, he hasn't committed too much to this push. It's a few skirms here and there, but he's also been focusing on his own eco behind this. I mean, 74 Vills is maybe with the Byzantines you can get away with fewer Vills, still get to imp at a decent time, and maybe with your cheaper skirms have something to hold an early imp.
Yeah, he needs to hold the hill. So many players might just place a castle backed by the TCs, but you need to just hold the line here, prevent Hera from moving out.
And these are Byzantine castles on the hill.
There's the siege. Hera will see the siege workshop. Very risky to move it into this, to be honest. ACCM acting as if he's going to fight to keep Hera there so he can get a Mangonel shot.
And that will be a very scary castle because the Byzantines have extra hit points on all their buildings. And the more HP you have, it's a percentage base. The more HP you gain, that's going to be a very difficult castle to push.
I'm shocked Hera's standing here. Like, if I'm ACCM, Hera's standing at the bottom of the hill, you hop out, you hit the Mangonel. Hera should not be standing here, in my opinion. It's about to go down. The Mangonel's going to hop out any second. And it might be, like, right as he's running away as well. Yeah, look, boom. Hera should never have been standing there. Hera gave all the opportunity, and now skirmishers and knights and Mangonels can push Hera forward.
He's going karambits, and you know what I really like to see? Cataphracts against karambits, and there's the cataphract from ACCM. I don't think Hera can go karambits against the Byzantines like he can against other civs.
This woodline as well, right between the two castles, is pretty important to look at, T-West, because if we've got melee units involved, not very easy for those melee units to get around that woodline. this is where Hera needs to win the game right here. This fast imp, this is the last time that the Malay have an advantage in this matchup.
And here comes the raid. Cataphracts raiding a Knight raiding. Hera can lose some. Look at the build count, T90. It's 92 to 99. 92 to 99. ACCM's almost caught up. And he's going to expand to the top now. He's also walling the top. ACCM's gameplay is control his side of the map, control the middle with the TC, and then control the water with Byzantine's Navy.
Yeah, but if he loses that castle, which it will be pressured, things could get really awkward here for him. So he's trying to go for the raids. The skirms are going to run around. He's got a skirm there as he tries to rewall. But, like, he needs some structure to this. And I worry a little bit that maybe he's overextended. Karambits are very easy for Hera to produce, and Malay get the free armor upgrades. So the Karambits will push back the skirmishers, and the skirms are not where they need to be at the moment.
ACCM's training a demo ship in his dock. Is he thinking to get a demo on the Karambits on one of the bridges?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he did actually get the skirms over. The right side as well is... There's a little bit of stuff there for Hera.
And he didn't finish the walls. 2 crossbows from Hera providing some value, keeping that house wall from being finished.
And Hera goes for the Treb. Treb's actually going for the Siege Workshop. I actually really like this. So a lot of people are going to convince themselves they're going to push and take down the Byzantine castle with their Trebs. Hera's like, I'm just going to play Bombard Cannon. And if I play Bombard Cannon before he plays Bombard Cannon, I'll eventually win the game. So let's just take the Siege Workshop.
Oh, and here come the Cataphracts. The Karambits will die instantly to the Cataphracts. Hera needs... What do you do against Cataphracts? Monks and Arbs if you're Malay?
And he's got them.
And he's got them.
He's got some monks around. He's got some crossbows around. The skirms are on the other side now. You kind of want to make your way back with those skirms if you can, if you're ACCM. But
well, I love those raids from ACCM. They're hard to clean up. If Hera sends Karambits to clean them, then he's not committing to this push at the front.
Siege Workshop will go down. Hera's got 40 on food. It's just 26 on food for ACCM.
Also, look at the eco upgrades. Hera has them. ACCM just now doing Bowsaw.
Also, another castle in the north for ACCM, so he's going to try and protect. I think he's worried about some raids there, which makes sense. But yeah, the skirms are just way too vulnerable at the moment. And ACCM's going to have to really focus on defending this castle.
Yeah, I think he's taking a good fight, though. The Cataphracts are going to pick off a Treb.
1 Treb down for Hera. Monks are there to convert the Cataphracts. They do that. But there's Bombard Cannons ready, and no instant chemistry upgrade for ACCM. You do get your own Bombard Cannons, but you need chemistry for that, and now 90 seconds away.
One of the interesting things about Cataphracts is they have low pure armor, so Skirm's actually able to pick off that converted Cataphract.
I think you maybe need to try and use your skirms a little boldly here to at least prevent Hera from firing on your castle with a couple Bombard Cannons. It'd be really nice.
Well, Hera has nothing to kill the skirms right now, since Karambits can't dive them under the castle.
Yeah.
You don't need to actually take the fight, you just need to keep the cannon away.
Exactly, exactly. But at a certain point, Hera will also just not even attack you.
ACCM's blocking with his capybaras on the bridge, trying to kill some villagers with the fires.
Castle from Hera on the hill as well. This is a bit early and a bit risky, perhaps.
There's a Treb there. Can the Treb hit the castle?
Nah, he gets the timing right. Hera waits.
Gets it right.
Now, the decision to make for ACCM. Do you fire on the Treb or do you fire on the castle? And what do your skirmishers do? This is very risky from Hera, but it might be worth the risk in this matchup.
I think you almost always go for the castle here. You're not going to destroy the Trebs if you only have one of your own if Hera repairs.
I love the ACCM micro, though. ACCM's taking a lot of hills.
With the skirms? Could he stop the castle? Hera has to pull back. Hera has to pull back. If he targets the castle now, he could maybe destroy the castle if Hera doesn't finish it.
Bombard Cannons are on the way for ACCM. If he can get Bombard Cannons out and holds, remember, he's Byzantines. His castles are superior. His tech is superior. Hera's losing some monks there as well. And he's kind of constricted in the south, right? He needs to move forward. These golds, where the castle foundations are, win this game for either player.
And now Ballistics in for ACCM. The skirms will be so much better against the Bombard Cannon. With Ballistics, he splits. Can Hera finish the castle?
I'm wondering how much HP it's even going to have, because I think the Trebs have been firing on it for a while here, too.
That's not many bills left. That's 3 bills. He pulls back again.
Big losses for Hera here. Big losses for Hera. Hera's Bombard Cannons are not hitting the skirms. ACCM's micro has been so unbelievable.
He's going for the bills there. 90%? That's only 90%.
Look
He's
at the
splitting on the skirms.
He's going for the Bombard Cannons. Hera's losing bills,
The castle goes down. The castle goes down.
Hera's villagers need to be repairing cannons, but they were building the castle that's been destroyed. Can ACCM do it? Can he book his ticket in the finals?
Hera's trying to go crossbow against Byzantine skirms. He doesn't have a way to win this fight. If ACCM ever gets cataphracts now, he can jump the Trebs. A Treb goes down.
And the patient micro from ACCM is truly unbelievable here. I really thought that Hera had that right there. I was so confident because I've seen Hera do it so many times, but the cataphracts are raiding on the right, and Hera, he might not make a final in the land for the first time in a very long time here.
The cannon from ACCM, they're pushing Hera back. He can't even move the Treb now. This is so good. How does Hera fight skirms now? He doesn't have an answer to the skirms.
The answer is he doesn't. The answer is he will just simply be the worst Civ now, T-West. And unless he does something on the other side, he is in trouble.
There's a Treb there. There's a Treb, and there are cataphracts. Can the cataphracts deny this castle too?
Bombard cannons from ACCM will hit Hera's skirms. He patrolled into it. I'm pretty sure he patrolled into it. I think his skirms took big losses there. They did. ACCM takes down a Treb as well. It's only losses for Hera right now.
He got the castle up on the right, but at the cost of his cannon and his Trebs and his skirms on the left. What a great fight from ACCM.
Oh man, the Treb does need to be saved. Hera's got 1 or 2 more fights in him. Anytime you think he's dead, he's usually impossible to kill. ACCM has more gold though, and Hera does not have resources to continually sustain production. He hasn't had the water after giving it up. He hasn't been able to push with the fast imp. I think you try with like 6 cannons, 50 skirms. You have to hope you win it before ACCM gets to Elite Cataphract.
Yeah, and right now ACCM, he's on 200 pop. He needs to think, do I go for more upgrades now? Or do I try to push Hera when I maybe have the pop advantage and can maybe force Hera into military instead of more upgrades?
I want to see where Hera's actually taking gold at the moment because he can't be taking that many. Okay, so he's dropping stables. So he will try the very cheap but very weak elite battle elephants. I don't mind it because you need one big home run swing right now to change this game. And Elephant's probably your best option.
And this is where Elephant probably beats everything ACCM has right now, but the Byzantine option will be cheap Halberdiers. However, it takes time to make that Halberdier switch.
He has to see it. Will he see those stables?
His scouting is so important right now.
He needs to see it from multiple angles. I think he doesn't see it here, but he just saw it down here. Yes.
Yeah, he sees it.
That's huge.
And also, low Pierce armor on the Elephants. Skirmishers are still kind of effective against them.
Yeah, there's so many skirms. I think you just castle up, and he clicks Heavy Camel. It's just because it's cheap.
And he has gold. And he has gold.
I wouldn't say Heavy Camel's my favorite option here, T-West. I would try and go Cataphracts. I would try and mix in some monks, but maybe you can do a combination of everything. They're elite now.
They're elite. Does ACCM focus the elephants or the camel?
Oh,
he's not microing. He's not microing.
The skirms! ACCM was so close to victory here. This is Hera's last push. I think ACCM is really scared right now. Hera's back.
The question is, are the camels the right answer to elephants? They don't have the same attack bonus that halbs do, but maybe they're better with all the skirms in the back, maybe with an option to snipe cannon with some mobility.
The thing is that there's a lot of pressure coming on both sides right now, and ACCM just can't quite get all the population and the upgrades. He needs to hold. He needs to hold. Hera, last push here.
The elephants are going for the cannon. The elephants are going for the cannon, but they don't get them. The camels are there in time.
He's repairing, but he ran out of stone. ACCM has to click his castle. He bought the stone. He didn't repair it.
The cannon to force back. That's a Byzantine castle. Hera's desperate for that gold on the left. He needs gold for the elephants.
Camels will go in. The camels do not have armor. That's a lot of skirmishers. Hera's Treb will go down. The castle will stay up for ACCM, and he can fall back now and wait for the armor. What a game.
Honestly, ACCM can even think about sniping the mining camps. Hera is so desperate for that gold. ACCM loses a cannon.
I honestly think...
Another cannon down.
I don't think Camel's good enough here. I don't know if Camel's good enough. If Hera can make elephants, elephants always beat Camel. Hera has found an extra gear, and he has found the one thing that ACCM was not prepared for.
The one thing in ACCM, he has gold in the middle, but camels, if they're not the counter to elephants, are they the counter to elephant skirm?
I don't think they are. They died to skirms. They die to skirms. They don't do enough bonus damage against elephants, and the elephants are so cheap for the melee that you can just keep tossing them away. What a hold from Hera. ACCM either needs to push the north, which he was planning on, or he needs an answer right here, right now, or it's over.
These are 2 players who don't die and 2 civs that don't die. The elephant, the last answer from Hera, but it's so important that he takes those golds on that hill, both on the southwest and the northeast. He was back to the corner, but now he has gold.
That's such sick wall there from Hera. The elephants are so difficult. Hera's going to drop some gates here again, so the camels can't go in to take the Treb. Camels aren't engaging on the Treb, though.
They're going for the cannon rather than the Treb.
He'll lose every camel.
He'll get one cannon at least. The elephants can push the castle too.
Yeah, I mean, the elephants are trading very nicely for their population. And Hera can still make more of them because of the gold he's getting in the other areas.
We're seeing medium warships from ACCM. I think that says he thinks he's going to lose the castle and he wants to play for gold in the middle.
They also have Hera making some boats, but I really think we just got to focus right here. If ACCM loses this area, Hera gets all the golds, and Hera can make elephants forever. Look, Panic Cav Archers, ACCM is completely shook right now.
And look at that KD. It is dead even at 200, but Hera has over 10,000 more resources collected this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's always had the eco. For ACCM, it's about the cheap units, but for ACCM, it is not about the strong units. The Malay arguably have the stronger army now, but Elite Cataphract is the only thing that would make me say otherwise from the
I don't think he has the resources for it now. I think he's been fighting for far too long and going for too many camels.
Yeah, camels do... This isn't like this is a paladin, right? It's a completely different situation. The camels don't do as much bonus damage, and the elephants have 300 HP versus like 120. So maybe you max out, but I think you need to have more military to be able to beat Hera's army at the moment.
Yeah, here's the thing. If ACCM can at least hold on to a quarter and the water, how does Hera kill him?
I think you slowly... You hope he runs out of res. You hope he runs out of res. And you slowly build castles around the map. And it's one army after the other here. Interesting engagement there. ACCM took this with confidence. So maybe
you might win it. You might win it, T90. Both these armies are so cheap to replace if they have economies behind it. And now camels, are there enough to fight the skirms?
We got some action on the right side as well. Remember, that's where Hera's been able to expand to take some gold. Hera's got some exposed villagers here. T-West, what is this game?
Do we have a 90-minute game? Do we have a 90-minute game, T90? ACCM's pushing back on land, though. Hera going for water maybe opens up the land for ACCM as he has more military here now.
I mean, Hera's going to put investment into water, but he kind of hasn't won land. ACCM didn't fully win water, and now he's going to take land. What is happening?
What is happening? Is he winning this fight? Does Hera have elephants now?
I have no clue. I have no clue. I have no answers. I know with Arbalest in the mix, Hera will definitely kill the camels, but I see a Treb that might go down. It's getting repaired. We see fires and Dramans in the middle. The Treb actually survives for Hera.
How does that Treb survive?
And the skirms get surrounded by the Ellies.
The elephants are so strong. They're so tanky.
It's an even stronger army now for Hera. Before, it was skirms. They did all right. Now it's Arbalest, and Arbalest shred camels. And then you have the elephant still in front for Hera.
This is a small thing, but Hera also needs to realize that he's housed right now at 195.
Yeah.
He's been losing houses and castles on the sides, too. He needs to get that pop at 200.
But I think he's got the comp.
I think he does, too.
I think he's got the army comp. I've never been confident in the camel play. And ACCM has never had the castles to justify cataphracts. He never had the time. And, I mean, Hera's going to start to tower this as well. Like, Hera, his eco is set up perfectly for this.
And remember, camels, they lack upgrades for the Byzantines, no bloodlines, no blast furnace. And Hera just keeps slowly but surely pushing. With the elephants, he can destroy all those stables, too, and stop the camel production.
Oh, man, ACCM's taking some big villager losses in the middle. He's losing production buildings and units on the land. And for ACCM fans, you're going to hate to hear this, but we are going to go to a Game 7. I mean, when ACCM got that lead, he had one more chance. When Hera gets this lead, it's really hard for me to doubt him, especially when he always has gold for elephants. The elephants were such a game changer here.
And now he's in ACCM's production. ACCM can make camels, but he can never amass camels. And the elephants will push through. They'll get into the TC. And if they get into that corner, that's where ACCM has his villagers now. The villagers will go down.
Yeah, and Hera sees it. Hera sees that. Hera will see this as well. Hera will get guard tower. And, I mean, like, for Hera, you're collecting so much more gold right now, it's not even close. You got 30 on gold, your opponent has 4, and you were able to snag a couple relics. So this might become a game where there's no golds, which we kind of advertised could be the case, but like then he can go force levy and he can play halbs and skirms just fine.
I love those towers in the middle too from Hera. They'll stop the ships from ACCM and they'll take the middle to stop ACCM taking gold.
I thought ACCM had it, and I think ACCM thought he had it.
He was so close. The elephants were the last attempt from Hera, and they worked.
Yep, he overextended with one army, and Hera's production, we talk about just like his skill, right? And he's able to bounce back. ACCM's looking at his pop right now, and he's gonna have to work through some real negative emotions, right? Because it was so close. I think, like, if we had a heartbeat monitor on him, his heartbeat would have spiked because mine did right in that moment he won the fight. And now he's got to come to the conclusion that he didn't actually win the game.
And now it's over. It's a Game 7 and a Game 7 on Hera's home map, where Hera, I would expect domination from Hera there going into it unless ACCM has something cooked.
We'll see. Game 7 it is. What a fight back from Hera. It's been one of the best sets we've seen.
He's back.
And
he's back. We got some signs.
Yep. Dude, this is crazy, man.
That's a warning sign that he's back. That's a warning for ACCM.
I mean, it was just an amazing game. I think for Hera, picking Malay was perfect. In the mid-Castle Age, we saw exactly what he wanted. He wanted the eco lead, and that was to translate towards the push. Where I got worried for him was when ACCM stalled the push, held the push, and prevented ACCM from pushing, or sorry, Hera from killing him. But like, ACCM needed one more hold against the first wave, and he wins the game. Camels was just, I would have actually preferred Cavalier, to be honest. I think that would have been the better army there.
Yeah, as we hear the crowd cheering for Hera, as he's going to take a bit of a break and get prepared for game number 7.
Yeah, all right, well, here we are, guys. So this answers the questions. Hera will go for Khmer. Typically with Hera, he loves to go full scouts, full army, and he never stops. ACCM's got the Magyars. Very similar thinking with the Magyars.
If it's full scouts, I think I like Magyars more. They get the cheaper scouts, which in the long run in Feudal is an insane bonus.
Kind of interesting as well, Hera not taking any wood just yet. So Hera, you could still pull this off, but typically you'd have a lumber camp going up at some point here. I doubt it's a fast castle for Hera, but these days you do have to question if someone has a planned strat in mind.
Khmer also, his last picked Civ in his draft, didn't go for Romans that were higher up in his Civ draft. He must be thinking, expecting ACCM from Magyars, wanting to go Khmer. There's maybe something in the matchup that he sees.
Yeah. The thing that is really complicated in these full scout wars is if you ever want to mix in archers. Because if you mix in the archers, at a certain point, they become super ineffective because scouts could just like jump on them, right? Also, going to gold is not actively working towards food eco, which helps the scouts. So archers and scouts kind of work against each other. If ACCM is thinking about this, he's probably thinking, screw archers. My opponent can't make spears if they skip their barracks. I can. Right. And then after that, we'll just make my own scouts.
Double, triple, stable scouts, possibility?
I think so.
That's my favorite way to see Age of Empires, and both civs can do it.
But let's talk about the golds, though, dude. The gold positions can be relatively awkward in the long run. I'm looking for ACCM's gold. I don't see a gold for ACCM around. So that gold is, I mean, unless, okay, it's over there. And Hera's gold, I think, is like kind of behind his base.
Yeah, he's a better gold position, but it's kind of awkward to wall, too.
Yeah, it is.
That's the thing about this map. You have these acacia forests that have these gaps in them. You're far from the edge. There isn't much you can use to get yourself walled up.
Yeah. So Hera will have the faster stable. That's the difference because he doesn't have to build the barracks. Do you think there's an argument, because the opponent's going to have Magyar scouts, that you go, instead of going barrack stable, you go stable and then actually build a barrack so you can make spearmen?
I think if you want spears, you want them early, but you also don't want to fall behind in scout numbers. It's so tricky because you don't want to take an early fight against Magyars when they have forging.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Normally Dave's been the one bringing that up, and I've found a million reasons to explain to him why he should never add the barracks. I think a player like Hera is just going to think, if I am 30 seconds faster to the first scout in a scout war, that one extra scout is going to lead to me winning a fight at some point.
What's dangerous is ACCM scout is forward and Hera's up faster, so Hera might see it. He could think to pick it off with his scout, but it looks like he's going to prefer actually scouting ACCM's base.
Yeah, he's got to find... I mean, there still could be man-at-arms, right? Like, Magyars get free forging.
Oh, there's the TC!
And Hera runs underneath the TC. No reaction from ACCM there.
See the lumber camp.
And inspecting the lumber camp, see how exposed that's going to be. These are acacia trees, which have a bit more wood on them, but still not very easy to fully wall these wood lines here.
Yep, the extra wood to make up for the gaps in the trees. There's the barracks, and we expect the stable right after it.
Yeah, it should be a stable as well from Hera, who didn't actually have loom. ACCM sees the stable. Some of the terrain here is cracked terrain, but not all of it, right, TUS?
And inside the pits, it's cracked terrain, so if you go for town centers down there on those resource pits, they will take extra damage, and even more extra damage since it multiplies along with the hill bonus.
My prediction here is we don't even see Castle Age.
We might just see Feudal.
Yeah.
We know these players have played a 4-hour game before. This might be a quick one.
I mean, seriously, this is going to be a lot of army. It's a big moment, man. But again, for Hera, he won't have the ability to play defensive or offensive spearmen. But it might not matter.
There we go. He finds a Vil. Won't kill her, but force her back to the TC.
It's actually really nice from ACCM. We missed some of that. But I don't know how he got that villager on the correct side of the scouts there.
Yeah, there's a spear. Remember also Chimera houses for Hera if he needs to garrison too.
Yep, needs to wall around the berries there, ACCM. And there's the archer range from Hera.
So he's skipping the barracks, going scouts plus archers.
Yep, archers, if with combination with scouts, can be very strong. But more than that, you want to snipe the spears.
So this is where if ACCM goes full scouts, like double stable scouts, that can be dangerous for Hera, and he might need to camp his TC with the archers.
Yeah, we'll see how Hera wants to use it. I actually expect Hera's building up for like big archer numbers before he even uses them. Hera's done a much better job producing this from this stable. He had the stable up faster, and it's been continuously producing here. So super smooth eco, and neither player getting horse color because that's to make your farms last a bit longer. And they just want that one extra farm and that one extra scout because the game can end at any time.
And that's extra scouts for Hera, but forging for ACCM. Does Hera want to engage? I think he really does with the numbers.
Yep, and ACCM said, go ahead, chase me. ACCM doesn't see the golds. He doesn't know about the archers. It is just one archer for Hera.
It's so important for ACCM to scout what Hera's doing with the archers.
Yeah, I agree with you. See, even the way Hera's house walling here, the way Hera's house walling is he's prepping for a game that is going to be messy and a game that is going to end quickly. He's not going for full wall approach at all.
I think it's a game where he's thinking it's going to be kind of defensive with those houses, where he can camp the TC and he's not giving alleys for the scouts to jump archers.
This is where it's tough, though. If spearmen come forward and Hera's defending with just scouts, you can't really do an awful lot here. So it is just one. Hera's archers are actually turning around to come back here. ACCM still doesn't know about the archer range, to my knowledge. Does he? And we need to actually double check this.
His scouting's so important, he doesn't see what Hera's doing. Well, what's going to be the surprise when the archers come? Because if ACCM runs with the scouts, he's going to leave the spears, the quick wall. Oh, Hera walling up that wood line with all the holes in it.
Okay, so this is important. Do we see an archer range from ACCM? No. He's actually immediately towering his gold. If he can get 50 more golds, he can eventually get bloodline scouts. But I think armor is needed if you see the archers. You have the attack already.
Absolutely.
You gotta have armor.
You prioritize armor over forging here because you see archers and you don't see spears.
Yeah.
But he has forging armor because he's Magdar, so it's just going to be forging, which he might skip the blacksmith if he doesn't. If he's Magdar and he has the forging, he might not be prepared for armor. But he sees him now.
Yeah, he sees him. He has the hill there. He patrols into it. He sees Hera doesn't have any upgrades. It's actually a very good fight for ACCM. No upgrades from Hera. He moves out confidently. The micro, if it's not perfect, he will lose every archer.
He will lose every archer. He wants to pick the spears. He's trying to get behind his scouts with the archers. The spears can get some pokes on the scouts. If they go too far forward, the archers hit them.
ACCM stand ground in that one moment is the difference between two additional archer kills and none at all. That could have been really nice. In the end, Hera, I think, very fortunate because he was called out a little bit. ACCM saw he was moving forward with confidence and realized no upgrades and almost punished him.
Ooh, you talked about bloodlines for ACCM. Hera's doing bloodlines.
Hera.
If he gets bloodlines, he could take one fight when ACCM's not suspecting it. 10 seconds away, you can't see the bloodlines until you click the scout.
I think if you see that blacksmith, you got to back away right now if you're ACCM. You don't want to overextend. Those spearmen get a lot more vulnerable if Hera gets fletching for the archers. And he does have his own blacksmith. He's going to get bloodlines, but the spearmen?
Oh, don't fight for bloodlines. Spearman exposed, bloodlines not in. He can't take the fight when Hera has bloodlines.
The thing about bloodlines as well is like, it's not an upgrade you look for quite as easily. You do have to double check the HP versus the other stats you'll click, but players should know to look for bloodlines.
Yeah, I mean, they're clicking each other's scouts constantly, checking what the upgrades are.
I want double stable for ACCM.
I do too.
And I actually don't think you need Vils on gold.
He's doing the
you're
upgrades.
Not going to make archers.
He's doing the upgrades for double stable, bloodlines and the armor.
There's
and he's doing it.
Yeah.
Now, the way Hera made his base was to camp the TC with archers against double stables, maybe invite ACCM to jump too early and stay safe. But there's no spears against double stables.
The archers are going to be in there, though. And Hera soon is going to have scouts with similar strength. So that the time window's gone where the Magdars have the superior scouts in the scout v scout engagement.
Here goes. Hera's not going to move out with the archers. He's camping under the TC this whole game. He's playing defensive. There's the armor for Hera.
ACCM's being really patient, and I like it. It's like, okay, you're not going to hit my base then, so go ahead.
go ahead, move your scouts into the wrong location. I'll fight the archers, garrison your vills, but sure, keep them idle.
Yeah, still, I think Hera's done a really nice job there. Nice job to get the villagers inside the house. And now Hera has fully upgraded scouts, and now ACCM has fully upgraded scouts. And I saw the second stable from Hera.
Oh, that's sick if he's going for a second stable too. And now it's about what's better, the farming for the Khmer or the cheaper scouts for ACCM?
And micro from Hera is so good. ACCM keeps trying to make him work, though. I kind of like the energy, but my goodness, Hera still has not lost a villager there.
He has not. He's using that house, and he's slowly getting more archers. The archers help defend all of those vills.
Other scouts on the wood line right now. Other scouts coming in.
There's
Hera's
a hole.
exposed.
There's a hole. He overchopped, forging on the scouts to pick vills. I mean, he might just lose one vill here. He might not lose any vills
That's actually
here.
so good because Hera's scouts went out of position. The other scouts come back in on the berries, and it's a lot of idle time for Hera. And now the spearmen are still there, so Hera's just pulled out of position constantly here. ACCM's got a lot more coming in. He needs patience with this army. He needs aggression with the other army. He's not patient.
He needs his army together. He's going to jump. The archers will focus the spears. If he loses the spears, he loses the scouts, and he loses the fight. But he's getting vills on the other side.
The thing was, he did trade his spears and some scouts, and this gives Hera, especially with that little pathing moment there.
Well, he's forward for a tower. He's forward for a tower.
I don't know if that's a tower you need if you're ACCM. I think he just lost too much army. I think he could throw the game.
He wants the fight right here. ACCM not going for a late game. He's fighting right here, right now. Who wins the fight? Hera has the reinforcements. He'll stop the tower and win the fight.
ACCM knows he has to send it. He knows how strong Hera is, but Hera's got more scouts on the way, and I think Hera will find himself in another final here. ACCM lacked a little bit of patience, and Hera's just been waiting to max out and get the army cleared.
Now it's snowballing so hard for Hera. He has 13 scouts, more on the way. ACCM can add scouts. He's adding another stable. He doesn't have the range, but now ACCM, he can't garrison like Hera did. Hera was so patient, and now the archers are forward, causing so much problem for ACCM in the walls.
Heartbreaking for ACCM. It must be so heartbreaking right now. You were so close, not only in the series, but in the previous game as well. But, you know, you look for that one big moment to take down the better player, and then oftentimes the favorites, it's the collectiveness of the whole game, right? And that fight right there, ACCM thought like 1-2 punch, boom, we win. Hera never thinks like that. Hera's thinking all about just playing solid overall, which is why he picked the Khmer. And now at this point, dude, the efficiency of the farms is going to give him such a big scouts advantage.
And right now, that tower on the gold is kind of a waste because he's going triple stable scouts and he needs food and wood.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, it was so close. I really think without the forward vills, if he takes a couple villagers here or there, falls back, he's got some opportunities, but now this gets dangerous. Hera's got a much bigger army, and he needs to wait for Hera to overextend here.
And Hera needs his own patience now. He can't make the same mistake of overextending.
Yep. Yeah, and you judge it based on what you see, right? You're like, okay, I got to match his scout number, and if I do that, and I have my archers, I'm in a better position. But this is interesting. ACCM's like, you know what? If I sit at home, he just, controls the game. So let's go to his base and see what he does.
The archers were good for defending for Hera. They're less good for attacking when you have so many scouts on the field.
Yeah, Hera could have called his bluff.
Ooh, there's a hill for ACCM too, I think, in that fight.
I think ACCM should run into his base. Hera's chasing. Hera's not punishing him at all.
The problem with running into the base is Hera's Khmer. He'll just garrison the villas. He's not going to lose anything if ACCM runs in.
That's
He's got
okay,
a quick gate.
That's okay. It's a lot of work for Hera. It's a lot of idle time. I think Hera could send the archers forward and kill ACCM right now.
Look at Hera's resources, though. He's doing a market. I think the problem with the market is the Khmer it's going to give away. He's going for the Castle Age, but can ACCM actually stop it when Hera has 10,000 more resources collected?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I really think that this is a way back for ACCM. Hera not choosing to be aggressive. Not choosing to just go right into the wood line for ACCM, which I'm sure is exposed, and more armies on the way. Let's see.
He's up to the Castle Age. I think Hera doesn't need to be aggressive now. That is a perfect tower. He just needs to hold for the Castle Age, get to Knights, and he should win the game.
He's not producing any more scouts. His archers are getting attacked there. He'll defend there. Hera spends food on the Castle Age and not scouts, which gives ACCM opportunities, and he's got 5 more scouts now. If he can clear this before Castle Age, so over the next 2 minutes, this game is still winnable for ACCM.
I don't know about that, T90. It's 1,000 more res collected from Hera at 37 to 21 KD. Everything he wants, he has right now. And is he going to make a mistake with ACCM trying desperately to finish that tower once more?
Yeah, it might come the other side, honestly. He might pressure more different buildings, like maybe the gold or something. The other tower is not really the spot anymore with no wood. correct recognition. The first time from ACCM, maybe you question the Vils, but like now you know Hera's up, and you got to do something fast here. So I like this from ACCM.
Yeah, here come the archers from Hera. He wants to force the fight, knowing that Hera stopped the scout production. But what does that tower even do? Hera just moves the farms.
Well, you can take down the stable if the tower goes up, and Hera might also overextend trying to deny it. But he's
ACCM
being
might
very
also
patient.
overextend going into the archers, but yeah, it does go up, denies some farms, denies the stable.
Yeah. I mean, Hera has been so wonderfully patient here. He's just waiting. He's just waiting. He'll act as if he'll engage at times, but he won't ever overextend.
But he'll get up. He can sell food if he wants to do gold and upgrades. He'll do light cav, he'll do armor, and he'll also think about knights. He's selling right now.
We might see ACCM fight this.
There's another tower.
We might see him fight it right now. You kind of feel like you have to, right?
Kind of feels like he does. This might be it. Crossbow Bodkin for Hera. He wants the crossbows before armor. He's going to take the fight.
Oh my god. I mean, that stack patrol just melted the army anyways, and now the upgrades are going to come in.
This Hera focus, the scouts are the Vils here. He's going for the Vils to deny the tower. This could be it.
I don't think there's a way you can win this fight anymore. If you're ACCM, the tower will go up, but it won't matter. You're going to lose everything else. The scouts from Hera are simply going to be replaced. You can't kill the crossbowmen, and ACCM's hopes, ACCM's dreams, which became very real, of making it to the final today, are slowly slipping away.
He's so close. Hera can destroy that tower with crossbows. It's a feudal age tower. It is less HP. The tower's going to go down. The Vils inside will die. Hera has so much more military. ACCM's adding more stables for more desperation scouts, and that's all he can do.
Oh, it's crazy. And Hera can defend from those scouts as well. He can have his own light cap to match. Crossbows now can advance out across the map. You obviously will always continue to fight here if you're ACCM.
And Knights will be killer. Knights plus crossbows will demolish feudal age scouts as long as he's not out of position.
It's kind of crazy, right? Like, Hera didn't really move forward to do any damage
He's
this
getting
game.
surrounded. He's getting surrounded, but it's still crossbows against feudal scouts. Hera could even win this fight.
You got to patrol nicely here, and Hera repositions, gets to the other side. That's really good micro from Hera. He doesn't have many knights, Hera, which is a big surprise to me. I'm surprised he's still making crossbowmen, but yeah, now that there's a knight in there and still crossbowmen, he can move forward.
ACCM, I think all he can do is tower his base and hope for the best. Wheelbarrow for Hera for even more food, and he's starting to transition to knights. He's got 7 Vils on gold. That's about what he needs. Husbandry on the way. And he now armor, he wants to push and raid with the knights. Desperation defensive towers for ACCM.
Yeah, it really feels like ACCM's moments were earlier in this game. It feels like Hera can shrug off this damage. He can make knights to clear this up, but it's desperation times at ACCM's eco. Towers against Castle Age units, not typically going to do much for very long. And again, the efficiency of Hera's eco is so much greater because he's Khmer.
And ACCM is trying to defend. There's no way he ever gets to the Castle Age, and he's down in military already.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking moment, man. You got to play on, you got to hope. But really, just looking at ACCM come to grips with the situation, with the reality that he was up 3-1, that he was this close to taking down the tournament favorite. And the tournament favorite is going to turn it around on him and get to the finals here.
Oh, this is crazy. He's trying to get more raids, but now Hera has the units to defend, and he can sit under towers and try to pick them off forward even if he wants to now that he has knights. If ACCM has to garrison, it's over.
It's over. Hera comes back. Hera comes back. And what a comeback it was. Crazy. Crazy.
Hera's shaking his head. He knows it was crazy. The crowd's cheering for Hera. Let's hear it for him as he will advance to face Leary in the finals.
Yeah, job's not done for Hera. ACCM with that grin we know so well. ACCM's got a lot to be proud of. Hera can't believe it. And I'm sure many of the fans here as well can't believe just how good that comeback was. But ACCM was so close to taking him down. He brought everything. And Hera faced it all, and we'll be in the final later. My goodness.
Yeah, we'll get an interview with Hera coming up shortly, and I don't even know what to say there. It felt like, do you think maybe that was the opposite of the first game, ACCM misreading the situation, maybe thinking Hera was up to the Castle Age earlier when he went for the tower?
I think ACCM did not like the fact that he didn't do much damage at that stage.
Right.
And he knew that the Khmer Fudika would be what's showing on screen right there. And so he just felt like, I need to do something to punish Hera for not being aggressive against me. But I think the tower was a bit unnecessary, and that's very much the nerves of the moment. Like
right.
that was him in a crazy, stressful situation trying to do something crazy.
As we have a round of applause as the crowd goes wild.
Yeah. ACCM deserves the applause as well. What a player. Insane.
What a play from ACCM.
Yeah, seriously. We might not see anyone give Hera that test. We don't know what the final's going to look like, but that was truly something.
We know Leary will be well rested. I mean, maybe he's just excited watching that set and didn't rest, but he is going to be ready for Hera.
Yeah. I got to say, that where the series turned around, the moment that's going to be in ACCM's nightmares tonight is the previous game. With the Byzantines game, I think that he will, anytime that he clicks the heavy camel upgrade for the next 6 months, he will flinch in pain. And
I think he will too.
Yeah, because I think that, I mean, maybe there's not good options there, but the camel thing just didn't seem to work out for him in that game. But that's the thing about Hera, right? It's like, I think we maybe saw ACCM on strategy and maybe on Civ Draft win that series 5-2. There's arguments to be made. But in terms of just consistency over a freaking 4-hour slog, he's able to stay so consistent that he can turn it around.
It just shows how impressive it is for Hera to outlast the player who probably plays the longest games of anyone in ACCM and show that consistency, show that stamina, show how also just the comfort being in the LAN environment when he's down and not flinching.
Yeah, and part of that is because he's done it before. With ACCM's final fight, if there's any questions, ACCM hasn't been in that situation as frequently, where he's super close to taking down, the world #1, and I think that maybe got to him there. But yeah, exceptional performance from Hera. We're going to hear from him now up on the stage.
Actually, I think we're not going to hear from Hera because we can give him a break. If I don't see the stage, and we're just going to throw it to Nelson and Jordan. So Hera has a bit more of a break since he was played in the second semifinals, and we'll throw it over to Nelson.
All right, and what a banger of a series that was. And with it, we now have the second finalist. That's going to be Hera. And indeed, we're not going to be hearing from Hera now because we want to give both players as much time to rest as possible. But we are going to be hearing excellent analysis from our two analysts in resident here. That's going to be Jordan and Hart. Boys, yeah, let's hear it for them. Let's hear it for them, yeah.
That's my boy.
Boys, ACCM goes from barely qualifying from the Swiss stage. He really had to wait till the very last result, which was Tato versus Sorikuma, if I'm not mistaken. And now he just barely lost versus Hera. Is this the best ACCM we've ever seen, Hart?
I think it's such a crazy run for him and Yo, honestly. Yo might have gone out earlier, but they had a pretty bad group stage for their standards, right? And they both managed to get to the playoffs, and they just showed such a good level. I'm honestly really happy for both of them. Obviously, ACCM is going to be looking at this result, and he was up 3-1 and all, but I think he was playing against the best player in the world, and it's still something to think about, right? It's not just a loss, it's against the best player in the world. Yes, you want more, but he put up such a good fight, and I think that was one of the best sets I've seen in a long time.
Excellent Age of Empires. Jordan, for Hera, he now has got a little bit of time to rest, but much less than Leary. So how much of a role does that end up playing? Because Hera was obviously expecting, in his mind, to have this be a quick series, potentially, so that he has more time to rest and all of that. So does that have an effect? Does that play a role now?
I think it could have a role, but Hera is also known to be the most or best player in terms of endurance. We have seen him being able to always play the full set in many, many occasions already. And it felt like he was kind of the guy who even improved his level when it was Game 8, Game 9. So I don't think it has too much of an impact there. But man, ACCM had a great showing. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're ready to watch the replays, guys. So I'd love to hear both riff off each other in terms of what we've seen there. So here we go. That's going to be game number 1 that was played here on the Islands map, Fernando Noronha.
Yeah, what I found very interesting on this map was, or in just game specifically, is that Hera was putting so much aggression in Feudal Age, and it felt like he was denying his Castle Age a little bit just to get as much army out as possible because he wanted to go for the kill. And there were 2 or 3 occasions where I felt like ACCM is on the edge or on the verge of dying, and he just barely held on there. And this was one of the moments where I was like, okay, Hera is so close to breaking through here, but ACCM did such a good job holding on, being in the game, and then his economy was much better in terms of going up to Castle Age. And from there, he just felt like he was able to produce so much, got crucial upgrades in as well, and then slowly but surely he was able to push forward on water.
It's such an interesting matchup, right? Because Kels, they have the wood bonus, but Dravidians, they get such a big boost in wood when they hit the next stage, and also free wood from docks, well, a house, which is essentially free wood. So like Hera felt like he needed to put pressure, and I think he was about to get it, but I don't know, ACCM managed to hold just barely, and eventually they're just kind of the better water sieve. But honestly, it was a really good game by both, and I think that's the second loss in a row for Kels, which were, I think, 4-0 or something.
We're getting
up
hyped
until
up
then.
a little bit too much, maybe. People are getting a bit too hyped
Yeah,
up
yeah.
potentially about the game.
Maybe we should see them less. We're seeing them too much.
But I'm also wondering, like, Kels should in theory be better than Dravidians, right? Because, yeah, Dravidians get the 200 bonus at once, but Kels over time should be able to get more wood over time, right? So Kels should in theory be better, I think. I'm not sure how you think about that, Hart.
I think it's you're playing with like a timer in mind, because Dravidians eventually have a full tech tree on water, while Kels don't, right?
Yeah.
And also the extra carrying fishing ships from Dravidians is not to be underestimated either. I think on these maps where you usually end up fishing from quite long distance, that also matters a lot.
Absolutely. And this game was also very interesting, right? It felt like ACCM was able to get an advantage early on, and just because the sergeants are trading so well against the men-at-arms. And there were many occasions already in this game where Hera was, close to dying, but his micro was just absolutely out of this world. Like, he was able to micro so many different units at once. It felt like he was hanging in there. But ACCM, with the superior economy, was able to get very crucial castles in very good positions, and then was able to win the game as well.
Yeah, Sicilian's definitely proving to be one of the best sieves on that map. And then we moved on to... What's the name of this map? Serra do Caraja?
There's Serra dos Carajás.
Oh, God.
I'm never getting that.
able to say that.
I'm never getting
So
that.
that's basically terrace.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we have Mayans against Tatars. I think this map ended up actually, for the first time in the set, playing out in favor of Hera in terms of what the Cs want to do. Mayans in an Archer War, that's like a dream, right? Exactly what you want.
I'm kind of surprised by the fact that opponents don't ban Mayans against Hera, because that's like one of the first picks I used to ban against him, because he's just so good with Mayans. And when I saw that Mayans against the Tatars, I felt like the Tatars shouldn't have too much of an advantage here. And Hera was just playing clean and just won the game.
And what a brutal game.
What
this
was that?
What a brutal game. So ACCM was holding on to this secret for the whole tournament, only to reveal it here in the semifinal, Hart.
That was cool. I hope we never see it again. I hope that it's banned from future tournaments or something, because I feel like it's a bit too cheesy. But yeah, I think it was cool to see from ACCM. He definitely saved this up for this stage, and I think props to him.
Have you ever seen something like that, Hart?
No, but I remember that after ACCM lost a set in the group stage, I met him when he was coming down, and he was like, I didn't watch the game, but he was molding about something about siege towers and like units. So I think it was something similar that he was trying to do.
That was a bit different. There was the game against Tato, I imagine, the one you're talking about, where his units would just not unload. But this one here, where he just builds the buildings through the gate, I believe we're just holding on to this information for as long as he could.
I think so, and that's also one thing which I like about those kind of situations as well, that you prepare for something specifically, you hold back, and then when it really matters, you show it. That's exactly what we saw ACCM doing as well. And what I was surprised about as well is that he managed to use those temple guards, and he jumps through the wall toward the
back toward the
how's it
siege
called,
tower.
the siege tower.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never seen something like that, right? And ACCM won that game, being up 3-1 in a best of 7, and that was the moment when he won that game. I was like, is there a world where Hera is actually going to lose against ACCM? Because that's something I would never expect her.
And I feel like that's such a test to Hera's endurance, not just physically, but also mentally.
The mentals.
Because I think that's something that can break a lot of players. And I know he wasn't feeling too good about it, because I told him a little bit back there. And he managed to keep it together. He came out with a very aggressive strat here on the next game. And honestly, I love this game. This ramp push was so good. Like the timing on it, the execution, everything was amazing about it. He has the Tiger Calf, which actually get, I think, 2 extra attack against Siege, which applies against the Hussite wagons. So he just has like the perfect unit. But without Siege, without the rounds, this doesn't work.
Exactly. And what I found very interesting as well is ACCM, a few seconds before that push happened, he was active with 4 Hussite wagon, and he was trying to raid Hera, but Hera said, I don't care. I will fully push onto that castle. And that was the right decision because the more time you give Bohemians, the worse it's going to be for literally any Civ, right? And Hera took advantage of that moment, went for the kill there, and was very successful in doing that.
And then Amazonia, what a banger of a game here as well, Hart. We were all on the edge of our seats back there in the playroom. Everybody was just, how is this going to go? So many crazy moments in this game. How did you read it?
I knew this would be a hard matchup for Hera, Malay against Byzantine. I think Malay is the better Civ overall on this map,
Oh,
but
interesting.
Byzantine's usually like a counter to a Civ like Malay that relies so much on archer units.
Sorry to interrupt you, Harold. Was that a misplacement of the tower right there?
Yes, that was very misplaced.
Usually you want to have the tower behind the docks, so the
Yep.
fire ships, for example, cannot hit the tower, right?
Yeah.
So in general, Hart, I guess what you wanted to say is like Malay overall should be the better Civ on that map against other Civs, right? On average,
Yeah.
compared to Byzantines.
Yeah, because they pull ahead in economy, and I think they just fit them up perfectly.
Yeah.
But Hera put some nice aggression here. He gave up on water, knowing that he wouldn't win that against Byzantine long term. Went for aggression on land, found damage, and then put himself ahead in economy. This is though what Malay can struggle against. Skirmishers walking around. Elephants usually a good counter to that, but monks once again counter elephants in Castle Age.
And I feel like also Hera, with the better economy, was able to get a good position onto the map as well with a good timing. However, Byzantines is literally the best civilization to hold on there, being defensive, trying to hold the position. ACCCM was capable of doing that, right? We see it in this moment right there, kind of pushing back the push from Hera. And that was the moment. He had 180 population against 150. He had map control. He had the center where all the gold is. That was the moment where I was like, okay, ACCM is about to close it out, but Hera, he's just not going to resign, right? And he was fighting back with the elephant switch, and that was so crucial. He was able to push back, and Hera slowly but surely was able to take more and more advantage of the map, and it was hard for ACCM to come back. I think, Hart, I'm not sure if you agree, I think it would have been better for ACCM to go for halberdiers instead of camels.
Exactly. The moment I saw him taken into camel, I think that's when I realized Hera's most likely going to win this. There was this small time window where Hera actually didn't have proper access to gold.
Yeah.
And he managed to get it in time, just in time to get a switch to elephants, right? And I feel like that made all the difference in the world. This area of the map was so important for Hera because basically it meant that without having the middle, he would have these two golds to play off for a while, right? So that basically secured him at least 10 more minutes of staying alive with gold units. And yeah, just the elephant snowball was too hard. I think ACCM was also hurting a little bit. He had a late heavy plow, no handguard even up until this point in the game. I'm not sure if he got it at all, which basically meant that Hera was ahead in resources collected so much, right? So he just needed to find good fights and snowball it.
And what was also important, Hera, in the meantime, while he was pushing back in the south side, he was also taking control of the center with towers and navy units as well. And ACCM was just overwhelmed at that point. And yeah, going into game 7, we were already discussing Khmer against Magyars. I personally was a little bit surprised that Hera used Khmer instead of Romans. I think Romans should be very good against Magyars compared to Khmer. I think Magyars should be better than Khmer with the cheaper scouts and forging right away. But I don't know, Hera felt like with the bit of better economy was able to generate a lot of army. His superb micro was again very helpful for him to keep in the game very well.
Yeah.
And this engagement, like he takes such good engagements where he slowly but surely takes an advantage step by step. And that moment was
Yeah,
like
this
the
moment-
lethal one for
Yeah.
ACCM, right?
Yeah, the guys were saying back in the room, Hart, this is the moment that maybe ACCM does not have to go for.
Yeah, so I think it's a matchup where Hera basically can't take one losing fight. He takes a single bad fight, the game is over. It will snowball in favor of Magyars. But that's, I think, what makes him such a good player, amongst other things. I think he just almost never takes bad fights. He just keeps delaying. If he took a fight earlier on, he probably would have lost it, or it would have been good enough. He just waited and waited, always getting small HP wins in the trades. And eventually, he just goes for a fight that, like when ACCM goes for the forward towers, that's when he breaks the game, right? He clears it up. Now he's free to go to Castle Age. He has Khmer economy. He can combine the Expos with Lycav and Knights. So that's basically where Magyars just can't keep up anymore.